Eagles. Eagles.
Welcome in, everybody, to a Victory Monday edition of Birds 365. The Eagles get the win in Wild Card Weekend, and we're moving on to the divisional round, everybody. This is Birds 365. That's your host, John McMullen. I'm your host, Zander Krause. Thanks for being here this morning, everybody. Johnny Mac, how you doing on this Monday morning, brother?
I'm doing well. I mean, pretty impressive performance, maybe a little bit different than people expected, but, I kind of look at it like they took the 7-0 lead, 3 plays into the game, and I don't think the rest of the way the Packers got closer than 6, I believe. So, I thought it was a pretty impressive performance, but obviously not the prettiest one, as Nick Sirianni said after the game offensively. But overall, it's playoff football, man. You're playing good teams, and the goal is to win in advance. And I never got the feeling in the entire game from that Oren Burks set the tone early, and they took the quick lead. You never got a feeling that Green Bay was really threatening them in the game. So I thought it was a pretty impressive performance.
Yeah, good to hear you say that. My takeaways in the moment, I thought it was ugly watching, John. I did not think the team played their best game. I was hoping to see a little bit more out of the quarterback. But now that I've sat on it a little bit, I mean, I think that sentiment is the correct one. It's the playoffs, and things aren't going to always look great. But, John, one of my big takes from it is you don't play anywhere close to your best game. Defense has a bunch of missed tackles. Jalen Hurts has 130 passing yards in a very pedestrian effort. And you win the game by double digits. I think it shows you how versatile this team can be. And really, they're a tough out, man. I mean, if you win by double digits when you play nowhere close to your best ball, imagine what they can be at their best ball. Now, they have to reach that point. They have to get to that point. But I thought it was pretty impressive. The more I thought about it, late into the night last night, I did a show. We were on post-game, John, until midnight. I was on talking to the great people of JAKIB Nation. We had a couple people come on and give me the business, John. They were not happy with me being upset after a playoff win. And I just said, hey, listen, I got to be honest. I didn't think it was a championship effort or a Super Bowl effort, but it is good to get a playoff win. And now your sights will immediately start to turn toward the next opponent, which I think became a very favorable matchup for the Birds. You're going to have the Rams or the Vikings. So I feel pretty good where the team is now. But, John, are we at a point where we just don't need Jalen Hurts to be great? Is that where we've reached as a team? And if the answer is yes, I think that's perfectly fine. But is that where we have reached as a team where you really don't need your quarterback to be that great? Because he was my biggest concern from yesterday's game. You win by double digits. Is that where we've reached, Johnny Mac, with the quarterback?
Yeah, I'm from excuse me, already getting the voice shaky, but I don't think that was the case from the running aspect. I think we're only talking about the passing game. Like I think you saw what Jalen Hurts brings to the offense when it comes to that +1 that we always talk about, and how it makes things easier for Saquon, and makes that, if you're a defensive team, it's like, what do? When they're running that RPO and you can sell out to stop Saquon, but then Jalen might pull it, or vice versa. And you saw at the end of the game, he could have had, I don't know how long it would have been, 68 yards or something like that. He could have had the 68. They finally broke one tremendous pull block by Mekhi Becton. We've seen this throughout the years. Seal block inside by Jordan Mailata, Dallas Goedert. So, and they break it, and Saquon just slid to end the game. Not that it mattered at that point. It just would have made it 29-10 instead of 22-10, and I think people feel better. But I thought it was a pretty dominant performance. But they're playing a certain style of football that I don't think, they wanted to at the beginning of the season, but you have to give them credit for morphing as well and saying, all right, this isn't working, so we'll scale back and we'll do this and we'll ride Saquon Barkley and this offensive line, and maybe they can ride it all the way to a championship. I said last night on the post-game show, look, I think at some point they're going to need some big plays in the passing game to win a Super Bowl. But the hurdles are lessening. So maybe they can go win it like this. Who knows? Like, I can't see, and we got all week to talk about. We don't even know who the opponent's going to be, Minnesota or the Rams. I can't see either of those teams coming into Philadelphia winning a football
I can't
game.
either.
I can't even picture it.
Yeah. Me neither.
From the Rams' perspective, I'm at 99%. Maybe give Minnesota about a 10-15% chance, but not a good matchup for either of those teams coming into Philadelphia. And then you start talking about, are you most likely, you can cross your fingers and hope Washington upsets Detroit. I don't think that's happening. So you probably have to go through Detroit and then the Super Bowl. That's what you're talking about.
John, we've been talking about that collision course on Birds 365 for months now. Months. Many of us said it was inevitable that it was Eagles Lions there in the postseason, and I think that's what it's going to be. But we will see. Obviously, have to get through the divisional round first. But John, it was a formula win for the Eagles yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Defense plays great. Saquon plays great. Jalen, mediocre.
Didn't turn it over, though. They're didn't turn it over.
Hyper-focused, no turnovers, agreed. But not his best performer, not, kind of what he's been all year. This is where we are. We're a great running team. Jalen hasn't played great all year, and our defense is amazing. 4 turnovers for the defense yesterday. Well, 3 turnovers for the defense and 1 turnover for special teams. Big shout out to Oren Burks. That was a hell of a hit on the opening play of the game, John. How about that?
That's, and you're right. I mean, and I said yesterday, Oren's a great third linebacker. The problem is he's going to be a second linebacker moving forward.
Yes, he is.
And that is something to be a little bit concerned. We talked about the health of this team. So to lose Nakobe Dean at this point of the season is certainly disappointing. They were able to persevere, obviously, yesterday, already having the lead and playing from the lead. So that might be something to put an asterisk around, but Oren was great. And I can't tell you, well, now I can tell you, but during the week, they were so hyper-focused on special teams because they were that worried about Keyshawn Nixon as a kick returner. And they did a bunch of stuff, and they put Nolan Smith on kickoff returns. And by the way, what a game from Nolan Smith to be on top of what he did defensively on special teams. And Oren Burks set the tone on play one of the game. Play one of the game. They spent all week talking about Keyshawn Nixon. Don't give him space. Don't lose the field position game. Yeah. And they turn around. They won the game, you could argue in hindsight, on the first play. They get the fumble. 3 plays later, whatever it was, they score. 7-0 game. Green Bay never tied it, never got the lead. I mean, a complete tone-setting performance from Oren Burks, and then he came in, and you could see some of the holes. They were getting some stuff with Jacobs in the passing game. I'm a little bit concerned with that moving forward. But, even if you look at, and we were talking about it last night with Aaron Jones and Bucky Irving. Well, you don't have to worry about Bucky Irving anymore down the road. Aaron Jones is still a possibility, but they might not even beat the Rams. That team's leaking oil, I think. Now, Jahmyr Gibbs, the hill just got larger without Nakobe Dean. Yeah. And let's be honest, Nakobe Dean can't deal with Jahmyr Gibbs. But
no, he can't. But Oren Burks can deal with him even less. And if you're Ben Johnson, I mean, it's very simple. Now, I don't want to go there yet because I do want to get by the divisional round. But just thinking ahead, like you always say, the team can't think ahead. We can.
Well, I can.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't know what you do. You got to do something. Yeah, and Vic will figure it. Vic will do something unique if it comes to that. and put somebody else on Gibbs, or try to put somebody else on Gibbs. But
would he potentially go an extra safety there, or bring in, what's that called, big nickel?
yeah, he might, because that doesn't, the Eagles look great on paper versus the Rams. They look really good on paper against the Vikings. They don't look great on paper versus the Lions. But nobody does. That doesn't mean you can't have a big game day and shock the world, so to speak.
No doubt about it. I mean, look, the takeaway is here. Eagles missed tons of tackles, obviously, in the game. I thought that was the only part of the defense, really, that was not great, was the missed tackling. Nakobe Dean is down. Reed Blankenship, Darius Slay, and Gardner Johnson all missed some snaps. Hurts held the ball for way too long, and the offensive line was caught off guard by Green Bay's unique defensive looks. This is courtesy of Anthony DeBona, by the way. A.J. Brown had 1 reception for 10 yards. Jake Elliott missed an extra point, yet the Eagles forced 2 turnovers and won by 2 possessions. I mean, John, they're just this oddly dominant football team that even when they don't play anywhere close to their best, teams can't seem to hang with them. And I think it comes down to the trenches, John. They dominate most games in the trenches. Now, they didn't yesterday, I don't think. Green Bay, I was really impressed with their defensive line. A couple people were saying on the post-game show that the offensive line didn't have their best game. And the only thing I could think about,
I don't know if that's the case.
I don't think so either. The only thing I could think about, John, was the touchdown throw where I saw 5 offensive linemen on an island for 7 seconds. People off,
next gen stats, 6.75 seconds. You just don't see that. Nobody got within 2.5 yards of Jalen Hurts. That was the Jahan Dotson, the first touchdown. Now, look, when people, I don't know what people expect, but when defenses send more than you have to block, you're going to get home, and then it becomes the responsibility of the quarterback. The quarterback has a responsibility in pass protection. You got 5 guys. If you're sending 6, well, do the math. That's then. The quarterback is responsible for the 6th guy, and responsible. Right. Obviously, we're not talking about blocking him, but you have to understand where it's coming from. Get rid of the football. You're going to see a guy tonight, Matthew Stafford, against a blitzing team. He's going to throw right behind the fucking blitz like he always does because he knows what he's doing. The ball's going to come out of his hand. That's what you do. That's your responsibility as the quarterback. But, yeah, to say this offensive line was not dominant, again, I have to watch the game again. But I bet you it was dominant. And if you look at the last play, the Saquon run, just watch Becton, watch Mailata, and tell me that's not dominance. I don't. I think it was the typical Eagles offensive line performance. And if you ask me, everybody's going to say Saquon is the MVP of this team, and that's fine because, skill position players get, they get the attention, and he's had a phenomenal year. But the MVP of this team on the field is the offensive line. Continues to be.
Yep, no doubt about it. John, let's talk about that defense a little bit, man. How about Zach Baun making another play in crunch time when it matters the most? That guy's price goes up every day, and you said it perfectly on the postgame show. The magical season continues for Zach Baun, man. Really impressive stuff. But, John, 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions. Darius Slay with a big one. Zach Baun.
Quinyon gets his first.
Quinyon, I got a jersey. John, I got a jersey. So Saquon Barkley goes down what? 3 or 4 yards shy of 125. I got the Quinyon jersey to give away. All right, so we're going to give away a Quinyon jersey for the.
By the way, he would have crushed the 125 if he didn't.
Oh, he would have crushed it. But I gave away 10. Everybody's good. I'm giving away a lot of stuff. I'll give away more stuff this week too. So I'm still giving away stuff all week long.
Well, that's good for the fan base and get them fired up. But yeah, it's not fun to be here, to the point that Packers writers were even screaming at the fans after the game. I mean, they're brutal. But a drunk female got it. I evidently saw Robert Saleh in the press box because he's been helping
I
out.
saw that tweet.
Because he's been helping out the Packers, and it was MF for this and MF for that, and it's kind of ugly. But yeah, teams don't want to come here. Now, I don't advocate that, but teams do not want to.
Why are they so mad at Robert Saleh?
It was just they were taunting him and that type of thing, and when it became clear that the Eagles were going to win the game, it is what it is. It's not pretty, but I just bring it up to say people do not like coming here.
Oh, no, they do not. John, analyze the quarterback for me because everybody's very upset with me. There's still people crying this morning in the chat that I was holding the quarterback last night. I don't think the quarterback played well. Now, what I'm learning is the quarterback.
Oh, he had 111 passer rating. 111 passer rating.
I mean, he didn't play good. But, John, can you give your perspective on? I don't want to cloud the question. I don't want to cloud what I think of it. What did you see from the quarterback yesterday, and how much of a concern or non-concern is the way he's playing to you?
I mean, it's not pretty. I mentioned on the post-game show as well, I was surprised Nick Sirianni got the simple question, what did you think of the offense? And I was stunned. As an offense, we struggled a little bit. He went right off the tip of the, mentioned no victory Monday. They're going to be back at work today, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, certainly the passing game isn't where it needs to be. But I will say this. Every time Green Bay did something, the Eagles answered. He's got this ability to, and I've said it many times, look crappy, and then he's making plays. And the big Dallas Goedert play, by the way, yeah, I was taunting. Where are the Dallas Goedert glass people today? When you see how physical he is on that freaking play.
Yeah, that was what an incredible.
He's been doing that for years. I'm like, these people even watch the games? This guy's one of the most physical players they got. 3 stiff arms. I was like Derrick Henry level stuff, just carrying the guy to the end zone. He's made of glass, though. He probably shouldn't have done it because he might have hurt himself doing it. But that's the way he plays. And then, by the way, on the seal block on the Barkley run, watch Goddard. Great seal block. But anyway, I digress.
By the way, A.J. Brown made a nice block on that Goddard run.
Yeah, he did. But I digress. I just can't stand those people, so I bring it up because he's one of the most physical players on the team. But
that was a hell of a run, man. That was
I don't know if Kyle Bryant still gives out his Angry Run Award, but Dallas has won it a bunch, and he'd win it again this weekend.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
That's a winner there.
Yeah,
that's a winner there.
Yeah, I mean, he's able to make plays and answer. When it was a 10-3 game, that's when they went right down the field with the Goddard play. Just bang, bang, bang. It's like, all right, where was this? And then it starts to go back to, all right, what's going on? And it's 16-10, and then they have a big drive again that ended in a field goal and essentially, made it a 2-score game. They got backed up with a couple holding calls. Otherwise, they probably would have scored on that drive. It's kind of, they've been able to turn on the light switch, which a little bit of concern because what if you don't turn on the light switch one time?
I don't know. They've turned it on so much, John. I'm having a hard time starting to believe that the other could be plausible because, sometimes you got to believe what they're showing you. They keep turning it on, John.
Yeah. But I mean, for the opposite end of the people that think it's an indictable offense to criticize Jalen Hurts, no, he did not play well. Come on, be honest with yourselves. As he did some nice things, but overall, he did not play well. And then you'll get to, well, Jordan Love did it. I'm not talking about Jordan Love. Did he play better than Jordan Love? Yeah. Was Jordan Love asked to do more? a hell of a lot more, you know. So if you're being honest with yourself, he's not playing up to the level anyone expected, but they keep winning games. So maybe he can win this way.
Yeah. I think you can. John, last question here, and we'll get to a couple super chats. And then we got a different looking Monday, everybody. We got the man, Mike Gill, is going to join us. He had to get in here one time before the trip to Thailand. So we'll talk to Mike Gill in just a little bit.
By the way, our Thailand listeners helping out Mike Gill.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Multiple ones.
Excellent.
Multiple.
That's excellent right there. That's Birds 365 Nation showing out right there. I love it. John, what you think of Kellen Moore yesterday? Man, many people are talking about him. I got to be honest. I am not impressed with the way he designs plays in the passing game. I know you're kind of the guy who pushes back on that at times and says you're just judging the results. What did you see from Kellen Moore? How do you analyze his role in the passing game that is not?
Well,
not
it's skewed. Look, it's over. It's done. You know what was advertised ain't happening. It ain't happening. You're not fixing it at this point. So if you go back to all the bullshit about motion and this and scheming people over, it's not happening. That's out of the barn. You ain't getting it back.
All right.
But they're winning a different way, and I think that speaks to Kellen Moore as a football coach in that he got here, he tried what he wanted to try in the spring and the summer, and even early in the season, and it wasn't working to the level where you're taking advantage of the talent that you do have. And he shifted gears, and the team took off. That's what coaches should do. You shouldn't sit there and go, well, I want to play this way, so we're going to play this way. And then the Eagles are probably Green Bay, and they're probably 11-6, and they're out in the first round. So I think it's a testament to Kellen Moore as a coach. I think it's a testament to Kellen Moore as somebody who doesn't have an ego and is willing to take advantage of what he has versus what he wants to do. I think it's all good from a coaching perspective, but for those who, want to see that kind of stuff, well, they'll try it again next year. But this year, it's about winning. It's about winning next Sunday and then moving on. And they're not changing. They're not all of a sudden turning into the Kurt Warner Rams.
No.
They're going to ride Saquon Barkley, that offensive line, and that defense.
No doubt about it, John. Let's ready to rattle off a couple super chats, and we'll get to the great Mike Gill. Eduardo checks in. Green Bay's players crumbled like Wisconsin cheese. I like that chat. Good one. Trucker Beans. JM, does the organization want a playmaking quarterback or a pocket QB? The QB efficiency scares the F out of me. Yeah, Trucker, you and me both, but the only difference is I'm getting ripped for a Trucker for some reason. Don't you guys believe what you see with your own two eyes? I don't know. John, your response to Trucker Beans.
They want a quarterback who's effective in whatever way that is. So they want a quarterback that's like Jalen Hurts in 2022. And they want to get back to that. And they wanted to evolve from there, which they haven't been able to do. So, but, they've won a lot of games, 15 of them so far.
Yep.
And again, there's other ways to win. What having the type of quarterback you're describing is, it increases your margin of error. But the Eagles have decreased that difference with the offensive line and Saquon Barkley and the defense.
No doubt. Brian Garner checks in. Physical game. The game shouldn't have been that close with those turnovers. Passing game was atrocious. However, Jalen put together drives when he had to. Yeah, no, you're right.
It's bizarre. I go back to
really upset about with the turnovers was the first half. I thought being up only 10 there was an egregious spot to be after getting 3 turnovers, especially one on the first play where you got the ball at the 28-yard line. But John, your response?
Well, they scored on that one. So.
Yeah, well, that was the one, but 2 other turnovers they didn't really do much with.
No, well, one was deep in Eagles territory. That was the Slay one.
Yeah,
so,
Slay pick, which was a hell of a pick by the way.
And they should have cashed in on the other one. But, I mean, he's right. I go back to Sunday night. So the number 1 seed game, the previous Sunday night, Sam Darnold didn't have it. And that was it. That was it. I say this all the time about the quarterbacks. Jordan Love didn't have it. That's it. That's it.
Right. It's a good point, man.
Jalen Hurts, every time he needed it, he's got this rare ability. It's so rare. I always make the starting pitcher comparison. Guy's got his good stuff. Guy doesn't have his good stuff. He's Roger Clemens. Roger Clemens, good stuff, bad stuff, indifference. He would grind through. Jalen Hurts grinds. Other guys, Jordan Love yesterday being the most notable. It didn't even have to go back to Sam. Jordan Love yesterday. You don't have it, you don't have it.
No doubt. It's a good take by you, John, man. Other teams can't survive if their quarterbacks don't thrive. All right, we got 4 super chats left. I'm going to push them off, all right, because I want to get to Mike Gill. Garner, Herman, Alexander, and John, thank you all for the support. I will get to each one of those super chats in a little bit. Let's get to our commercial break so we can talk to the great Mike Gill. Looking forward to doing that. Let me tell you guys about the great people at BetUS before we get there. Use the promo code on your screen. It's YouTube150. Gives you 150% sign-up bonus on your very first deposit. You get 125% on your second and third deposit, all up to $2,000. So deposit less and bet with more at BetUS. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. They have the fastest payouts in the industry, 24/7 customer support, and they'll even give you your own custom account manager. So go bet on the Birds to go to the Super Bowl. 1 down, everybody. 3 to go for the Birds to get that Super Bowl win. Go to betus.com today. And a big thanks to them for sponsoring the show. We'll be back in 3 minutes, everybody, on Birds 365.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES.
Eagles.
Welcome back in, everybody. A victory Monday here on Birds 365 after the Eagles survive and advance to the divisional round with a win over the Green Bay Packers. Joined now by Mike Gill from 97.3 ESPN. Mike, good to see you on a Monday. We don't normally get the privilege of talking to you on a Monday. How you doing on this victory overreaction Monday, my friend?
I only can imagine the overreactions today. An ugly, not aesthetically pleasing victory. A lot of points left on the field, but moving on to the divisional round.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? I mean, double-digit win. As you mentioned, so much left. Even Saquon could have had a long touchdown at the end of the game to make it look a little bit better from a score standpoint.
Yeah.
I never felt the entire game, Mike. I never felt Green Bay was on the verge of pushing the Eagles. And yet, they didn't play well. I think that's a positive, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's funny. As fans, we almost always acknowledge that it's a week-to-week league. Yet if you look bad one week, you hold on to that as if that's what you're going to look like the next week. When we see teams all the time, they'll win 54-0 one week, and then the next week they score 3 points. I mean, if we haven't figured out what you do one week doesn't really carry over to the next week by now, I don't know what to tell you, but they left a lot of points on the board. I thought the big difference in the game was they were just physically tougher than Green Bay. They just beat them up. I mean, their offensive line, it wasn't a great day by Barkley, but if he runs that ball to the end zone, you look at his numbers, you're going to say, wow, he had like 160 yards. But it was a Barkley type of day. You just kind of plot it and plot it and plot it. You were just waiting for that big run, and there it was late. He ends up sliding. But if he gets those yards, you're like, whoa, Barkley had a big day. And, obviously the passing game was just not there. I thought Hurts struggled. I didn't like they had a couple drives later where they just got quick, short stuff, and that was working for them. Early in the game, a lot of holding the ball, and as soon as he gets out of the pocket, that play is over. But he makes a couple plays. I thought Goddard, the catch, and then of course the Bavaro-esque run.
Unbelievable run by Dallas Goddard.
Yeah, I mean, he's just pushing through the guy. Look, they got the job done against a pesky team, but they imposed their will against that team. Forcing how many holds in the interior? They changed their left guard 3 times in the game.
That was a big injury for because Jenkins is probably their second best offensive lineman, arguably their best when he's healthy.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, like you said, if Barkley scores there, it's 29-10. It really could have been 40-10. I mean, if they get the job done. I do disagree a little bit because it felt like they were leaving so many points on the board that Green Bay was not going to play well, and then just, they kept getting these drives, and then Philadelphia, you had a missed field goal, you get an interception, but you figured, how many more times can I ask for an interception or a fumble or a turnover? At one of these times, they're going to convert. I did kind of have that feeling and then Elliott misses the extra point, so then you're like, oh my God, that's going to play a factor. And then it was going to play a factor in whether they were going to try to kick So I thought that was all it had an ominous feel. I do agree in that it didn't feel that Green Bay was it just had an ominous feel because of the missed extra point, the missed opportunities. You got 3 turnovers and didn't capitalize on them. So you felt like you're going to dominate this game and lose. That was kind of the feeling.
And I should mention real quick before Nakobe Dean is carted off. NFL media reporting that it's significant and he will miss the playoffs. Not that we didn't know that, a bunch of us. I had an orthopedic surgeon right away say that's not good when it happened. So unfortunately, great season for Nakobe Dean's going to end early, and that could be a problem moving forward with Horton Burke stepping up, but we'll get to that. I will say about the ominous feeling, that's kind of, I mean, it's a personal for everyone. I never got that because, Green Bay couldn't do anything. And a lot of it has to do with that defense, and a lot of it had to do, you just couldn't see them. And then they lose Jenkins, and it might be a holding call, and then they get pushed back all the time. And I bring that up to bring up the Jalen Hurts aspect of it. Look, the passing game did not look good. I think we're all on the same page there. But, these
is that more
quarterbacks,
Hurts or is that more?
I think it's more Hurts. But I will say this. When they needed it, they go on a drive. It's amazing because that's what I was saying before you came on.
Yeah,
Mike.
but the drive, that's why, because when they needed it, they went on a drive. But the drive, I thought the offense was much more conducive to getting to a rhythm. It was a lot quick, short stuff. Here, A.J. Brown, bang. Devontae Smith, boom. Goddard, hit. Get it out. Let them guys do stuff. The first half, it just felt like constant. They got plenty of protection. He's just looking, and you're like, what?
Well, the first touchdown. I mean, everybody looks at the first touchdown and says, wow, that's awesome. 6.75 seconds of pass protection. Longest on a touchdown pass this season, according to Next Gen Stats. All right, you're not supposed to do that as a quarterback. That's what I always talk about. People judge results. That's actually a bad job by the quarterback. You got to do something before 6.75 seconds. That's not sustainable. But it all ended well in the end, so everybody's like, that's great. Not really great. So, I mean, if you're Kellen Moore, what are you going to do? You scheme something up. The ball's supposed to be out. Doesn't come out. What are you going to do, Mike?
Yeah.
If that's you're 15-3. You're not fixing it.
You're 15-3. And I think yesterday shows they're just a flat out more talented team. They're more physical. I think the physicality up front won the game. The battle of attrition that Green Bay's line just lost. They were losing guys left and right. They just could not. While there wasn't sacks it wasn't like an 8-sack day where it was just embarrassing. Love is good enough that he just gets the ball out so quick, but he had to get the ball out even quicker because of the push from up the middle was just constantly in his face all day long. So he's just rushing to get everything out. So everything that's complete is short. The Dean injury is significant because I thought yesterday the calling card for this defense all season long has been that they tackle. A lot of missed tackles yesterday that kind of kept. If the Eagles tackle like they normally do, Green Bay's not even in the game. At all. But they had a lot of missed tackles in the game yesterday, uncharacteristic. So the Dean injury should be interesting moving forward because I definitely think that was something that did kind of play out in the game. Was that Burks was in a lot of missed tackle opportunities. The one where he's just dragging the guy Jacob's T-shirt. So we'll see how that kind of affects them moving forward. But overall, I think the physicality of Philadelphia and then the overall depth of talent on their team just wins a game where they just didn't play that well.
No doubt about it, Mike. What does that say about the team? You don't play anywhere close to your best game. In fact, I thought at times that offensive performance, man, was ugly. But you win by double digits, Mike. This team has this weird ability to just beat teams. And not even give them a chance. You win that game by double digits. That's the Packers' biggest loss of the year. And it happened when the Eagles, like you mentioned, missed a bunch of tackles. Offense didn't really get anything going. 130 passing yards in the game. It's impressive how the team wins. You think this is a formula that they can use to take it all the way without Jalen Hurts ever having to play elite level football at the quarterback position?
Yeah, and you have to assume that Hurts, is getting back. They weren't asking him to, be nearly as involved in the offense maybe as he should be or is normally, and you still kind of win that game. Early in the game, they get the big run from Barkley right off the bat, and you're thinking, all right, because, he kind of rips that run, and you're thinking, all right, well, this is a good sign. And then they kind of got away from it. He had like 9 carries. He had the 6 completions in a row. Then he couldn't complete a pass. It was just a weird, moment in the feeling in that game. And then you get the interception from Slay. You get a later interception from Bond. And I'm thinking, how much more can you ask of this team? And yet you still are winning this game when you clearly aren't playing your best football. So I definitely think it shows. But, and honestly, tonight, you get the winner of the game tonight. They're playing on the short week. Obviously, the situation in L.A., both teams are on the road in this game. It sets up for a pretty solid situation for them moving forward here, where you're playing against a team that you played earlier this year in L.A. and really dominated that game.
That might be the least I mean, they are. I talked about that game going in because people were thrilled with Jared Verse and Braden Fisk, and they're very good young players, but they're so undersized. And I'm like, boy, the Eagles are going to push those guys around, and boy, did they.
They pushed them around, and that was the game. Nakua, I think, had been out for a couple of weeks, and he came back. Cup came, they both those receivers were kind of in and out. I think Nakua had a big total, but they kept those guys in check for the most point. And they just, as you mentioned, they just dominated. I think, memory serves, I think Barkley had like 250 yards against them.
255.
Yeah, I mean, they just pushed them all over the place. So, I think you're looking forward and say, man, we didn't play this offense doesn't play their best game this week. Next week, you would hope it's not a game where you have to ask Jalen Hurts to do all that much because of the defense. Well, that's assuming the Rams win. Now, the Vikings pose a different problem. Their defense is probably a little bit more equipped.
I still don't see it with them. You got Sam Darnold in the pocket. This defense is going to torture that guy.
I don't. If somebody, who do you want to play? I said I really don't have a strong feeling on either. I just think they're both inferior.
I almost want to play the Vikings because I think Stafford's more capable.
The Vikings on the road with Darnold, I mean, we've seen this act before. They've come on the road and just have struggled. And Darnold has shown, but I think either team is in a tough spot having to travel. You hate to throw the LA situation into it.
I am 99% Eagles over Rams. I only leave up 1%. Vikings, look, they're going to win. They're going to beat the Vikings. But I leave open the door if Sam's hot on a particular day. They play defense a different way. They have big run stuffers. Eagles are still going to have the advantage, but they have Harrison Phillips and Jonathan Bullard and guys who are really strong and physical up front. Just the Rams are the easiest matchup in this entire playoff for the Eagles.
Agree.
Because of their defense.
Their front
defense
is so undersized.
Yeah.
And the Eagles' offensive line, and you already saw it. They will destroy them.
And I would say, we're going back to Jalen, and I think obviously people are being critical, which is fair. I think he did not play very well yesterday, But keep in mind, the run they went to the Super Bowl, he was not a big factor in that run. His best game was the Super Bowl. He did not do much against San Francisco. He did not do much against Minnesota. I mean, was it Minnesota that year? Who did they play in that first?
No,
was it Minnesota?
It was San Francisco and the
They played San Francisco in the NFC Championship game. Who was the team they played in was it the Giants?
The Giants,
Yeah. So, he did not have a great playoff run, and he ended up having his best game. So, as the Eagles have shown, he doesn't have to be at his best for them to win. That is the charm of this team is Green Bay needs Jordan Love to be almost immaculate to win. Philadelphia doesn't. So, yes, it's easy the next day to come on and say Hurts is concerning. He didn't play well, but you still won the game. The Eagles have shown throughout this season and past seasons that Hurts doesn't have to be 28 for 35 with 350 yards for them to win. They can win with his numbers, and they've done it this year. He threw 14 passes. They win.
We barely need him to throw 150. I mean, come on, man. And we're not asking him to do basically anything.
At one point, they had 26 yards passing, I think, at halftime or something like that. I mean, you're thinking, my God, this has been putrid. But, hey, here they are getting ready to host again.
You're a baseball guy, Mike, so I want to give you my baseball analogy. When a starting pitcher doesn't have his A stuff, you kind of know it, and they have a poor performance, and that's it. And that's how I look at most quarterbacks. Jordan Love yesterday didn't have his A stuff, bad game. Jalen Hurts doesn't have his A stuff. He's still got this ability to grind and make big plays in certain situations. I think it's rare. I always look at Roger Clemens was that way. Didn't have his A stuff, but he's gonna grind and fight and get you through 6 innings. They don't do that anymore. So this is old school baseball. But you get my point.
Yeah.
He grinds even when he doesn't have his best stuff. Most quarterbacks, they don't have it. They don't have it. Period.
Yeah, and listen, he got help because he's got great players around him. I mean, the throw he makes to Goddard, Goddard makes a great play on it. He kind of is out there, he stretches out and goes and gets it. That was a first down late in the game.
One-handed catch.
One-hand catch. The play that he throws, that it's out there for Goddard. Goddard, the individual effort he makes after the catch ends up being a factor. That's what gets you with this team. That's the frustrating thing for me with the offense sometimes is Jalen Hurts is not the star of this team, nor does he need to be. You have so many weapons. Just get them the ball as quick as possible and let them make people miss. Nobody can tackle in this league. You throw the ball out, somebody misses a tackle, and there's your big play. And I feel like the Eagles there's a whole part of that offense that could be unlocked by just saying 1, 2, 3, bang, there you go. There's the ball for A.J. Brown. Slip a tackle, and now you got a 9-yard play. Instead of a 3-yard where you catch the ball 4 yards down the field, you break a tackle, you get 9 yards. I don't understand with the talent they have how that's not elementary.
Howie Roseman's the MVP of this team. I don't think anybody's gonna tell me otherwise. You have where in the modern NFL have you had a team where your quarterback he's basically not asked to be anywhere close to exceptional? It's okay. I'm good with it. We keep winning. But I'm just pointing out the offense is so damn good. You're so versatile on offense because Howie Roseman just built a juggernaut, and you really don't need the quarterback to do much.
Well, and the question is, though, is that what the design was? You signed this guy to that contract. I don't think the design was, hey, let's not have our quarterback.
Go back to the spring and summer and all the Kellen Moore hype. No, this was not the design. But so you brought up Kellen earlier. Is it his fault? Because I don't think it's his fault. You said just get the ball out. He won't get the ball out. What are you going to do?
Well, I guess that's where the whole argument about coaching comes in. Are you coaching him to get the ball out? Is he not taking to your coach? I mean, all that stuff. That's just the whole mental aspect of all sports where we like to blame the coach. And some people say, well, that's on the coach to coach him to get the ball out as quick as possible. And if he's not doing it, then what? Who's that on? That's on the quarterback. Okay, well, what are you going to do if he's not?
That's a fair point because – and I've been saying this, and I'm going to bring it up because I say it too much. I think people, regarding Vic Fangio, it's not the scheme; it's the way he teaches it. The Honest NFL, who I always give a plug to, does a tremendous job. Follow him on X if you can. He said the greatest thing about Vic Fangio's defenses has never been the scheme. He's a prime example of why hiring for that scheme is stupid. No matter what call is made, you can only play it as well as it's been taught. And he's 100% right. The teaching aspect is far more important than the scheme aspect. Sean Desai ran the same damn scheme. Didn't look the same because it's not taught properly. So, to your point, that works on the offensive side as well. So is it Kellen's more responsibility that Jalen Hurts will not release the ball on time in this particular offense? Are we going to blame him for that?
Yeah, exactly. So that's where it's a weird dynamic because I thought yesterday in the drives that they did get the ball out. They ended up with points. I mean, almost every single time where they just kind of quickly got the ball out, it allows you just to get just some sort of rhythm. You can still take your shots down the field, but just get the quarterback kind of in the rhythm, bang, 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 keep the defense on the heels, and then take your shot. It's like they work in reverse. They want to take the shots early and then kind of say, all right, well, that didn't work. Let's scale it back and try, So I feel like it's an unanswerable question. Is this on more that he can't get it out of Jalen, or are they just not asking Jalen to do that? I mean, who knows? But the moral of the story is they're winning, and it's because they're the more talented team. But that shrinks every week now as you get the talent disparity starts to shrink every single week. Although the divisional round, I think they're going to be the definitively more talented team.
Yeah,
Look, Minnesota's talented. I don't like them in that spot.
Guys, I can't get Pumpkin Darnold out of my head with Minnesota. I'm sorry, I just can't. What's the best quarterback performance we've allowed this season? Baker Mayfield in Week 4? Was that it?
No, don't get me wrong, I think, but to Mike's point, they're better than Green Bay. I don't know if the Rams are, but especially as the matchup. And by the way, you might not even see the Vikings. The Rams might beat them. But I'm just saying.
This is a weird situation
to
with
Mike's
the Fires.
Point, yeah.
This is a weird
To Mike's
situation with the
point,
Fires and them having to travel. Are they rallied behind that? You don't know what the crowd's going to be like tonight. I mean, they did sell a lot of tickets, but is it a pro-Rams crowd? Is it just an NFL crowd? A lot of Vikings fans, that's a shorter trip for them. Not by much, but still easier to get to. So it's going to be a weird dynamic, and it's sad what's happening out there, and it's come to this.
Sad. But to your original point of the talent different, it does move a little bit. Eagles are significant favorite against either team.
I think it's 6.5.
And then if you project to the NFC Championship, unless Washington pulls off the miracle of the century, and I go back to Nakobe Dean. Oh boy, Oren Burks trying to deal with option routes with Jahmyr Gibbs. Woo!
Oh, in the game down the line, yeah. Burks played the game against the Giants. I think he had, 17 tackles. He was all over the place in that game. Yesterday, he seemed to be on ice skates all day, just couldn't figure out what he was doing, where he was going. It seemed him and Ball on the one play, they're colliding. I think Dean is a significant loss at this stage, but hey, everybody's losing guys. I mean, yesterday Green Bay's losing guys. They were down to their third, fourth. They were down to their fourth, fifth, and sixth wide receiver.
Bo Melton.
That was a body bag game, man. At one point, it just felt like players were dropping every single play.
Yeah. And then late in the game, the defense, Walker? He's trying to hang in there. He couldn't keep up, and Detroit's been dealing with injuries all season long. And by the way, if you do face Detroit, they're going to get Montgomery will be back. So they're starting to get healthy at the right time. Detroit's getting a couple of bodies back. But look, this is going to come down to execution. If you don't execute against, Detroit, Washington winning that game last night, I felt was like, Tampa Bay is a team that I just was not interested in having to match up with if I'm the Eagles.
I think I think that has to do with the past. I don't think.
Well, they just, Baker is one of them guys that's just a perky guy. I mean, he just, when they play well, it just,
he's tough to deal with at times. But everybody's got good players.
No, I woke up, I'm leaving tomorrow. My flight's tomorrow morning. By the way,
any anxiety for going to Thailand?
No, I got to give a shout out to some of the viewers though. I had two viewers in Thailand reach out to me. William Johnson, who is a Navy vet and a LaSalle grad, who goes to Thailand for 3 months a year, and he assured me that I will be able to watch the game. And then I had another gentleman, John Nash, not the former 76ers GM.
I could use John Nash back.
John Nash reached out to me, and he is over there as well, and assured me I will be able to watch it. Now, I was disappointed to see the time of the game.
What time in the morning?
They play Sunday at 3 o'clock in the morning against the Rams Vikings, and then the NFC Championship game is also at 3 o'clock in the morning. So,
all right, Mike, now be honest with me. Be 100% honest. How dedicated are you? Will you be watching in real time, or will you set the DVR and watch?
I don't know that I can do a DVR.
Yeah,
I will say. So yesterday, my buddy came over with the Amazon Fire Stick. It's loaded up with the ability for me to watch the game. Although the two viewers assured me that True Sports 1 will have the game on in Thailand, in my hotel room, or a bar. I don't know if I can go to the bar at 3 o'clock in the morning. But, yes, my plan is to be up for the games. There are 2 days that our itinerary actually works out, that we don't really have something planned on those days.
And Thailand, True Sports 1, we're giving you a free plug. There you go.
They have True Sports 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Apparently,
I want to give a shout out to the viewers. Forget Sports 1. How about two of JAKIB Nation being out there over in Thailand helping Mike Gill?
I was thrilled. I mean, I got home from work the one night, and I got an email, and it was, hey, William Johnson. Shout out to you, William Johnson. He said, I watch Birds 365 when I wake up in Thailand. And, he's a religious watcher. It wasn't like he caught it once. He watches all the time. So, William, thank you. And, John, thank you. I do feel like, I will be equipped now to watch these games. And I think, the one thing that we should all be pretty thrilled about is the way the defense played in the game.
Oh, yeah.
We kept wondering, Nolan Smith coming up with 2 sacks. We kept wondering whether or not they can get a pass rush. We keep wondering whether or not they have enough. Jalen Carter, you didn't hear his name much yesterday, but you got to imagine he was a big factor in the holds. They were probably double and triple teaming him, which left one-on-one on that left guard spot. And that guy, whoever it was, they had 3 different guys, had a rough day at the office.
Yeah. Yeah, when they
how many times do you see a team just literally yank a guy out of the game and like, you're so bad, we have to replace you with the 3rd guy?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, Jenkins, he went down, and and that again speaks to the Eagles and Howie Roseman, Zander's point. The Eagles have had to play Fred Johnson and at times and Jack Driscoll at times and Tyler Steen at times. They don't have that drop off. Obviously it's a pretty significant drop off from where the Eagles typically are, but I mean, those guys were embarrassing. And even the depth of the Eagles shows up, especially on that offensive line. I don't want to hear MVP talk, Saquon, Howie, even Zach Bond, who I love. MVP of that team is the offensive line, period, end of sentence.
Hey, I said on my show, the star of the team is the offensive line. It's not Barkley. It's not Brown, because that line allows Barkley to be a 2,000-yard rusher. In New York, he's still Saquon Barkley, but he's not 2,000-yard Saquon Barkley. That offensive line allows everybody to be another level from as good as they already are. They take them to another level. And I said, this is when they were 4-4. I said, until the Eagles come to terms with their offensive line is the star. It's not A.J. Brown. It's not Smith. It's not Hurts. It's not Barkley. That line is the star of this team.
Yep. I'm with you 100%.
All right, Mike, are they going to the Super Bowl?
I hope, man. I will be in New Orleans. I come home on the 30th, and then I'm heading to New Orleans on the 4th, and I hope that I will be able to see this team. It's been an unbelievable journey after last year's end, in which they lost 6 out of 7. For them to be in this spot, what a turnaround, and they get a lot of credit for not letting last year infiltrate to this season. That game on the 26th, if it's Philadelphia-Detroit, I think will be an epic final. Right now, I still lean Detroit. I think Detroit just losing last year and then going 15-2. It's not like they lost last year and let that kind of derail them. No, they've built on that and just gotten better. So I do think Detroit right now has that feel of they're just not letting anything get in their way. They've had injuries. They haven't let that get in their way. So I do think Detroit, if I'm being, honest, I think Detroit's the slightly just has, a little bit more.
And by the way, if you do make it to the Super Bowl, it's going to be a good team. Whether it's Baltimore, Buffalo, Kansas City, it's going to be a good team as well in the Super Bowl. Baltimore, if they play like they did against Pittsburgh, they're going to be a tough out.
Yeah.
But we know Lamar Jackson's history. I can't say it enough, Mike. At Mike Gill Show, make sure you follow Mike on X.
I am on the air today. Today's my last day on the air.
Nice.
97.3, the Sports Bass. So if you're local in South Jersey, and some of you aren't, thanks to you in Thailand, all over that watch this show. But if you are local 2 to 6, you can listen to Mike daily, not over the next couple weeks while he's in Thailand, but listen to Josh Hennick and everybody filling in. This team and the way they've done it is so unique. And I go back to the quarterback because I always use that term, unique. But boy, I'm worried about this Nakobe Dean injury. Especially,
I guess that's the question. If you were to lose one guy, I mean, I don't think Dean would be your answer. But it sounds like, like I think Zach Bond, or they lost Slay for a little bit yesterday. They have some guys in the secondary that can kind of step in. I know when Chauncey Gardner-Johnson goes out, there's a drop-off there. But losing Dean with some of the opponents they have coming up with what they like to do could be
Aaron Jones and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones and Jahmyr Gibbs coming up. Potentially. Rams, don't have as much with Kyron Williams. Very good back, but not really pass catcher. But if you get Gibbs can do everything. That dude is unbelievable. And him running option routes, oof. I mean, Derek Brooks
Detroit loves to go
guy.
over the middle. Detroit loves the middle of the field.
Yeah. Derek Brooks
I
couldn't
feel
cover
like the
that
NFC
guy.
title game, if it's Detroit, assuming it's going to be Detroit at this point, I feel like that's a way harder matchup for the Eagles than the Super Bowl matchup would be. Like, I feel better about who you'd play in the AFC coming out than Detroit. That to me is the toughest matchup of the playoff run.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, I agree. Best
agree.
team in football,
Detroit,
so I would agree with that. I would agree.
All right, Mike, thanks for checking in, brother. Got in one more segment with us before your trip over to Thailand. Now, Mike, the people in the chat are continuing to remind you to be careful of the lady boys.
I have my lady with me, so I'm not. I'll be.
Do you
fine.
have a detector of some sort, a lady boy detector of some sort?
My girlfriend. My girlfriend.
There you go. That's probably a good detector. Mike, thanks for joining today, brother. We appreciate it. As always, great stuff, and we'll talk to you again somewhere down the line, man. Be safe over there.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Enjoy the trip. Don't worry about the trolls. Enjoy the trip.
Good stuff, Mike. Enjoy the trip is right. And we appreciate him for joining in today. Middle of a playoff run, John. I wouldn't be happy to leave my studio. I don't like leaving my studio ever. And I wouldn't be able to leave, man, on the way.
You know, man, when you got,
run.
you know, and Mike is essentially married. When you got the better half, sometimes you got to make them happy. You know,
I don't know, man. I couldn't do
the way it is.
I tell all my people and my family, my girlfriend, everybody, it's a football season. Okay, you want to get me in the off months. I'll do something then. Maybe you can get me on a weekend.
No off months, as my wife can tell. What the hell are you doing in the off season?
Correct, John.
There's no off months. And people don't, like, my wife hates football because all I do is football. So she has grown to hate it. She's like, what do you, it's over. What are you doing? And I'm like, you have no idea.
It's over. It's not.
There's more to do in the off season than there is in the, nobody understands that. It's, you know, the regular season and the playoffs are almost a respite from the draft stuff and the free agency stuff and the agents. And oh my Lord, I cringe thinking about it.
I know. All right, let's get to a couple super chats here, John. We have Jeff Kerr coming up at 9:20. Looking forward to talking to Jeff. We always get Jeff on a Monday. We pushed him back. Jeff accommodated us because Mike wanted to get an extra segment in before Bangkok, so we appreciate that. Let's get to a couple super chats. I see one coming in.
Chris Franklin as well. He'll be on tomorrow.
He'll be on tomorrow, right? We pushed him back. So everybody accommodated us. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Here we go. You know, John, everybody gives me this comment before I get to the super chat. One day I'm going to learn about women. No, I'm not. I'm not letting you go down that road. If my girlfriend's watching right now, you know that you're never getting me out of the house during football season. Ryan Garner checks in. Bond and Smith played lights out. Both played special teams, and Bond carrying the wide receivers down the field was insane.
Yeah. I talked about it on the Quinion interception. Now, he maybe should have got called for pass interference, but who cares? They didn't call it. But the fact that he can carry a receiver down the field like that, you don't see that often. So I'm with you with Zach Bond, but and then the special teams, I tried to intimate it as much as possible. I mentioned it on the post-game show. That was a big emphasis. Eagles would not stop talking about during the week. They were very concerned with Keyshawn Nixon, his ability to change field position in games. They put Nolan Smith on kickoff coverage because he's one of their best block destruction players, and they wanted to limit the space. And he did a heck of a job on that. Nolan Smith was, and Nick said he gave him a game ball. He might have been the overall star of the game, Nolan Smith, for what he did.
He was incredible, man.
As a pass rusher and setting the edge in the run, because until that big run, they completely shut down Josh Jacobs. Completely shut him down until that big beastquake run with all the missed tackles. And then on special teams as well. And he's playing a ton. Bryce Huff, he got one troll, played one snap because Nolan's playing all the snaps. Yeah, great game for Nolan Smith. Great game.
Good stuff. He was physical, man. Knocked a couple guys out of the game. Josh Herman checks in. John, Dallas has all the ability in the world. However, he stays hurt and he's never available. Not paying a guy who consistently misses.
I don't. That's fine. I'm talking about the idiots that say he's made of glass, and he would run those idiots over like a freaking bulldozer. He's one of the most physical players on the Philadelphia Eagles. In fact, one of the reasons he gets hurt is because he's so damn physical. He's probably too physical, as he did when he broke his forearm on the same way he did yesterday, scoring the touchdown. Violently stiff-arming the guy to the point he broke his own forearm. I'm speaking specifically to those 80 morons. He made of glass. One of the most physical players on the team. Everybody knows it except those morons. Now, yes, it's real. You got to be on the field. I feel bad for Nakobe Dean. Now you're going to hear the injury-prone stuff. Tears his ACL. He tears his ACL. What the hell are you going to do?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, it's a violent sport and guys get hurt. But he's 30 years old and he's injury-prone. I have no problem with people bringing that up. It's a very distinct minority of idiots who thinks he's made of glass. I'm not a big fan of that.
I know that. I think that's fair too. Alexander Harris. Hurts was rusty and expected after almost a month off. Burks isn't the answer at linebacker, and Trotter should be looked at. He can't be much worse. I don't know. They're going to go with the veteran there. Come on, Harris. There's no way they're going to Jeremiah Trotter in the playoff spot there. They're going to a guy that has playoff experience. He played in the playoffs. Played in the Super Bowl last year for the 49ers. I do not think that they are going to Trotter Jr. at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you go back to the game Nakobe missed with an abdomen injury, they started Burks and they rotated Trotter in. I think you might see that, and then Burks started to settle down and played pretty well. So you might see, if he's not playing well, you might see them give him a chance in game. But yeah, it's going to be Burks to start, definitely. And,
yeah, I agree.
You know, if he plays really poorly, yeah, they might take a look.
John Forte, my guy. Thank you, John. He says, great podcast, like always. Thank you, John. Just your thoughts on if the Eagles exit early, how do you fix the passing game? Can't get out from under Hurts' contract, much money. You see them moving off of more. I'm not ready for this question yet, John.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even picture them losing next week. So they ain't leaving early. You can't consider the NFC Championship game, even if you lose that, as leaving the playoffs early. Well, I guess you can, but
man, ain't nobody getting fired if they go to the NFC title game, even if they lose it.
Yeah. I mean, I can't consider that leaving the playoffs early, but I guess some people could. Yeah, I mean, they'll do what they did last year. They'll go into the offseason and try to evolve the offense. Will it work? No, it should get better. It's been better. You know, it's regressed. But I always talk about the there's unintended consequences to everything. And if you want to look at it, look at Green Bay. Green Bay used to be a much better passing team. They scaled back to rely on Josh Jacobs, and the unintended consequence of that is the passing game got worse. Same thing happened here in Philadelphia to a larger degree because they had an even better running back, and they scaled it back. And the unintended consequence of that is the passing game is hurt, you know, but they've been successful. So it's hard to criticize them for that.
Maybe year 2 with Kellen Moore is better. You know, everybody loves to talk about.
Well, I think it's got to be better.
Continuity.
But remember, if it gets better, then you're scaling back Saquon. And, you know, maybe there's a better there's a better sweet spot, 1,700 yards, 1,600 yards, and a better passing game. Maybe there's a better sweet spot you can find.
Yeah, I saw one stat, and I can't remember exactly what it is, so take it with a grain of salt, but it was something like 23 of 25 of the last Super Bowl winners. All of them had a top 10 passing offense. So I don't, you got to have some sort of a passing game. But we'll see. I mean, right now this team just keeps winning. So what are you gonna do? It is what it is, right? Everybody tells me I'm crazy and I'm a hater now. Now I'm the hater, John. How has this happened that I'm the hater because I didn't think Jalen Hurts played well yesterday? I don't know. Old Eagle fan checks in. Wild at the 11-yard out, right to Smitty was Hurts doesn't career under center. Was Hurts' first career under center play that didn't feature play action. I did see that tweet. That somebody put that out there.
Yeah, I find that hard to believe. I did see that too. I guess it's possible. They do it so rarely. I guess it's possible. It'd be very strange to me, but they do it so rarely. It's like, who cares? I mean, but it worked.
D. Hughes checks in. Eagles third down play calls. 3rd and 5 draw. That was not good. 3rd and 10 slow screen versus blitz. 3rd and 12 run. 3rd and 13 scramble. 3rd and 10 run. 3rd and 13 run. D. Hughes, I did see a breakdown of those third down calls. I don't really understand that, John. I know you always say you don't like the judging of play calls, and I understand it. I think your thought process is sound and logical and fair in terms of you judge the result, but just for example, go to the first third down. I think it was 3rd and 5, and they went to Saquon in the flat. Devontae Smith and Jahan Dotson were your two lead blockers out there, like literally leaving the result out of it. If I told you 3rd and 5 and you're going to throw a swing to Saquon, I don't love that play call. Is that fair to say?
I think what's fair to say in that instance is, and this is we'll go back to the Lions. And I believe that was 3rd and 5, as you said, in the plus side of the field. You have to have 2 plays in your mind.
Right.
And I don't think the Eagles do it that way. And that's where I think Ben Johnson and their aggressiveness, they surpass the Eagles. Because they're probably going to run the ball there to get it to 4th and 2, even 4th and 3. Get something and then go for it. I don't think the Eagles think that way. I think they got too cute with it. For all of Saquon's brilliance, he's not a great receiving back. He's not. So I would have went in a different way. But my criticism is not necessarily the swing pass. It's, all right, you don't have that second play already dialed up. Like Ben Johnson knows he's going. So he's going to run it with Montgomery when he's back, or Gibbs, and then he's going to be 4th and short, and then you're bucked, basically. And I don't think the Eagles think ahead like that, and I think that's the bigger issue.
John, people are going to get mad at me for saying this, but I really don't care. They're already mad at me anyway. If you look at that list of play calls on 3rd down, and again, I'm not trying to.
Well, and then the 3rd and long draws real quick. When they hit, and Saquon went for a touchdown on the 3rd and 13, and people are thrilled. That's where I talk about the results.
Yeah, I agree.
You're trying to hit. It's not your 3rd and long.
Yeah, but I have a more zoomed out macro question about it. Does that show you that they're not Kellen? Does Kellen Moore believe in Jalen Hurts? Like, if you have a 3rd and 10 and you call a slow screen, or you have a 3rd and 5 and you kick it out to Saquon in the flat. Like, you're not asking your quarterback to make a play ever. Like, you would think 3rd down would be you rely on Saquon on 1st and 2nd. 3rd down would be the play. All right, Jalen, this is your moment. This is where I need you to make a play. And they're still calling draws and screens and flats. I mean, does that show that maybe they don't believe in Jalen, or am I reaching?
They're not the only team that runs 3rd and 5 swing routes. Now, I would argue that's a Kenny Gainwell play. If you're going to run it with Kenny. But so there's some personnel things, but everybody throws 3rd and 5 before the sticks. You're trying to create sort of a matchup in space. And you got to hit your blocks and all that kind of stuff. It's not again, if you watch other games, this shit happens all the time. Everybody's running draws on 3rd and 13 because the odds are you're not going to get it. And are the Eagles, you talk about certain guys, or you feel comfortable with, you run a dig over the middle and you convert it. The Eagles are not that team right now. They should be, but they're not. So, they're going to try to bang a draw with Saquon Barkley and catch somebody. And when it works, everybody's thrilled. And it's, when it doesn't work, they're like, 3rd and 15, throw it down the field. They can't throw it down the field on 1st and 10. Why are they going to be successful on 3rd and 15? That's not their game right now. It should be. There's no reason you can't throw the football over the middle of the field on time to A.J. Brown with his big body, but they don't do it. It's not their game right now.
D. Hughes, thanks for the super chat, brother. I appreciate you. Brian Fleming checks in. Can we ask Jeff Kerr who's worse, Jalen Hurts or Drew Aller? Oh, God.
Yes, we can. I like that. Jeff will probably not be happy with it.
No, Jeff is going to say, are you kidding me? Jalen Hurts led the team to a Super Bowl. He's going to go nuts, I think. Jeff Kerr will go. Brian, I will ask Jeff Kerr this for you, okay? I will save it for the end of the interview, but I will ask Jeff Kerr this.
That's a tough one for the Penn Staters. But, Drew did not play well. Got some very good defense, though. Very good college defense.
He stunk that game up, man. Stunk that game up, no doubt about it. But good stuff there. We'll get to another one here. Pile driver checks in. Long developing routes are a problem sometimes. I agree. I mean, it does look like
they're a problem right up until they're not a problem. Like, one of the things, again, we go to tonight. Nobody runs more long developing routes than Minnesota. Nobody in the entire NFL. Is ridiculous. One of my criticisms of Kevin O'Connell. When they work, it looks fucking good. When it doesn't work, like against Detroit, and the quarterback is inaccurate and all that kind of stuff, doesn't look good. So, again, it's mainly results. Because when it's working, oh boy, it's very exciting.
I know, but I mean, if it's not working like it hasn't been, and the passing game has not been good,
yeah, but they don't, as I pointed out last night on the show, they've thrown the ball 8 times over the last 8 games of the season, 20 yards or more. They haven't been taking these big shots. I don't know where that comes from. Well, I do know where it comes from. It comes from their history, which is real and distinct. But over the last 8 games of the season, which is a large sample size, they were not throwing the ball down the field. It's just ugly right now, the passing game. They took one shot down the field.
I would just like to see him use some more short and middle, short,
Well, where were the shots other than the big tush push? Were there a bunch of shots down the field? I have to rewatch the game.
No, there definitely was not a lot of shots down the field. But I think what people are thinking is that I don't know. I don't know what people are thinking. I mean, I haven't watched the All-22 or anything, so it's hard to speak.
The ball's not coming out on time. That's a fair criticism. Now, there are other times that people will put up their screenshots, which are useless, but they'll put them up, and I've already seen them. No receivers are open. Happens all the time in the NFL. Got to deal with it as a quarterback. That's when you got to extend the play. That's when you got to throw it away, whatever. Live to play another down. People aren't going to be open all the time. But when they are open, you got to get the ball out on time. Eagles too often do not get the ball out on time. That's fair. But they have not been throwing the football down the field a ton recently.
No, they have not. I was just on X, making sure we were all up to date with everything. And Ray Didinger, who, if you look on my back mantle back there, one of my big books is the Eagles Encyclopedia. The author of that encyclopedia, the godfather of sports talk in Philadelphia, Ray Didinger, was on WIP this morning. And he said, if you say average.
We're talking about A.J. Reedon on the sideline?
Nope. Talking about Jalen Hurts' performance. Ray says, if you say average, you're being kind. So, there's a lot of people in here who are shitting on me. Dominique, he stunk it up with a 111 QB rating.
Nah,
Ray Didinger, who's
but
watched more football than maybe all of us put together, says if you're saying average, you're being kind. It wasn't a good performance.
Two things. My pet peeve, it's passer rating. B, it's not important. C, Ray's right. He's not playing. He did not play well in that game. Nick Sirianni admitted it, which is rare. I mean, that's just, there's for whatever reason, there's a whole cluster of people that want to protect the quarterback. They don't have to. He knows he didn't play well. He's the first to be critical. He doesn't mind criticism. I don't think anybody likes criticism, but he's not a shrinking violet. He doesn't need your protection. He didn't play well.
No,
they won.
I'm getting to the point where I believe he doesn't have to play well. It doesn't even matter.
Well, to this point, there's only 3 hurdles left, as I pointed out.
Yeah, I mean,
so maybe he doesn't have to play well.
Yeah, you said that last night, John. I started thinking, I'm like, "Oh man, John is right, man." I don't know how much more of this we can look for, but no doubt about it. Let's get to our next commercial break. I see my man Jeff Kerr. Jeff, you better be ready to bring some truth.
They're already
today,
trolling
man. We got a
you,
fired
Jeff.
up crowd. I'm fired up. Johnny Mac's bringing some truth to the combo. We had Mike Gill on a little bit earlier.
You already got a Drew Aller troll, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff, get ready. We already had a Drew Aller troll on you in the super chats. I will read you that when you join the show. Let's get to our commercial break. Actually, John, I'm going to skip the commercial break. I just want to do a quick Bet US live read, and then we'll get right to Jeff Kerr here in a second. All right. So go check out Bet US, guys. I just mentioned them. They're a big sponsor here on JAKIB. They've been with us the whole season long. And you can use this promo code YouTube150. So if you are a sports bettor or you want to take the Eagles going to the Super Bowl, or you think they have a chance to go to the Super Bowl, go ahead and bet them now. And do it on BetUS. Use the promo code YouTube150. It gives you a 150% sign-up bonus on your very first deposit, and you get 125% on your second and third deposit. So all up to $2,000. Deposit less and bet with more at BetUS. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. And a big thanks to them for sponsoring this 2-hour edition of Birds 365. Now let's get to our man, Jeff Kerr, joining us now on Birds 365. Jeff, welcome to the show, man. It's Victory Monday. It's Overreaction Monday. We're a little late getting to you. I'm used to talking to you at 8:20. What's your take, Jeff? What'd you see yesterday in the game, brother?
The number one defense in the NFL played like the number one defense, and I wrote in my overreactions piece and called it a reality. If the Eagles win the Super Bowl, it's going to be because of their defense.
Yeah, and their running game and the offensive line. I mean, they deserve credit as well.
By the way, John, this kind of went unnoticed around the league, but Saquon Barkley cost people a lot of money.
Did he?
On
by
that
sliding?
By sliding. He was gone.
Yeah. Well, he saved me some money because I give away a jersey when he goes over 125. And I think he ended with like 123. But don't worry, Jeff. For the great people of JAKIB Nation, Quinyon Mitchell got his first interception. So I'm giving away a Quinyon jersey instead. So I'm still giving away something.
And it's a Kelly Green jersey. So fans will enjoy that.
That's a nice jersey there, Jeff. I don't give away junk here on JAKIB Sports.
Now, Jeff, already, and you're right, this defense can't give enough platitudes to this defense. But the one negative, Nakobe Dean, done for the season, significant knee injury. When you look at the potential of coming up, could be Aaron Jones next week, might be the Rams, but could be Aaron Jones. Potential NFC Championship game against Jahmyr Gibbs. That's frightening. How big do you think that injury is for the Eagles defense?
It's massive. You're losing the guy who got all pro votes this year. You can't replace that. Oren Burks can do his best, and that's fine. Oren Burks is going to be a suitable replacement, but this is the Kobe Dean. I mean, in my opinion, the only worst player you could lose on this defense this year is Zach Bond. You can't afford to lose him. And I'm going to tell people this right now. Do not use the Nakobe Dean injury as an excuse for why this team doesn't go to the Super Bowl, because the Detroit Lions have injuries.
Yeah. Well,
the Minnesota Vikings have injuries.
Yeah.
The Los Angeles Rams have injuries. So it's part of the game. It sucks. I talked to a lot of people about Nakobe Dean yesterday. Lane Johnson was very upset over the loss. Nolan Smith was passive.
Nolan was devastated. Well, they used to be roommates in college.
Yeah, they were roommates, and he said, "Look, they were two country guys on the farm, and he recruited him to Georgia." So this was a huge deal. I know Zach Vaughn was pretty emotional about it. Warren Burks was pretty emotional about it. I ended up talking to a couple players on the offensive side of the ball too, and they weren't sure the severity of the injury, but they know that they got a tough road ahead.
Yeah, that's a shame. And Nakobe's such a good dude too, and he's had injury issues in the past as well. With the Liz Frank injury, was really hitting his stride, really having a great season. I remember back in the preseason when I was telling people Nakobe's playing well, and everybody was on the Devin White bandwagon. Remember those days, Jeff Kerr?
Devin White's still in the Texans? I don't even know.
I believe he's on the practice squad. Yeah. But I'm not sure. I have to look it up. But yeah, I mean, Nakobe really took a step forward this year. But as you mentioned, I mean, the attrition of look at what happened to Green Bay in that game. My Lord. I think they just lost another player. Poor Josh Myers, by the way. Gets hurt with 3 minutes left in the game. Looked pretty significant. He's a free agent. This is a tough sport, man. Tough sport.
It sucks. Like I actually thought Green Bay's offense was in trouble, not when they were losing receivers, but when Elton Jenkins got hurt. I'm like, how many injuries can this team sustain?
They could not replace Jenkins. I mean, both guys. The first guy they brought in had 2 holding penalties. The next guy had 1 hold. They couldn't. I mean, the drop off from Jenkins to what they put in there again speaks to the Eagles. Brett Johnson has had to play this year. Tyler Steen's had to play this year. They can persevere. So many other teams can't persevere in these types of situations. Now, linebacker might be something different, but we'll see moving forward. As far as the game last night, you probably heard us talking about Jalen Hurts before you came on. How do you judge that performance? It wasn't great to the point that Nick Sirianni, which I was surprised by, Jeff, flat out said, well, the offense wasn't good.
Well, Jalen would be the first to tell you he didn't play well. So,
yeah.
I mean, look.
I don't know why it's controversial.
Yeah, I mean, look, he was efficient in the second half, 7 of 8. I put the stats up this morning. He was 3 of 5 against the blitz. I know you hate passer rating, John, but passer rating was really high.
That just means you didn't throw interceptions, Jeff. That's all it means.
Well, isn't that the key stat? Because if Jordan Love doesn't throw a pick, maybe the Packers win.
But the difference is there are guys. The key to good quarterback play is, yes, taking care of the football is most important, but also riding that sort of tightrope of, making big plays, stressing, when you can throw for 300 yards and have no interceptions, that's when you're really playing good football. When you're specifically not doing stuff so you don't turn the football over, I would say it's not a good sign, but the Eagles keep winning. Well, you have to build the team.
That's where my respects for Nick Sirianni comes in. That guy just does not give a you-know-what about how aesthetically pleasing this thing looks. We're going to run the ball. Our quarterback's going to throw for 150 yards, and we're still going to win the game, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, and that's fair, but then you have to give the credit to the people doing it. The number 1 defense, the offensive line, Saquon Barkley.
Right.
Those are the guys.
Well, yeah. They're the reasons the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl.
If they do win it, it's going to be the defense, the offensive line, Saquon Barkley.
You know what? Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson, I was asking them about what the Packers were doing, even with the zone reads and stuff like that. And they both told me they did not block well yesterday as a group, as an offensive line. They thought that's why Jalen.
Yeah, but they always say that. They were dominant. They're always dominant.
Yeah, but they are. They're perfectionists.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. Like Jordan will tell you he played like shit and he's got like a 96 grade or whatever from PFF. Lane will tell you, yeah, it wasn't his best performance and he's out there done. That's just the way those guys are. Yeah, I'm sure the 6.75 seconds on the Jahan Dotson touch. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. And
nobody got near Jalen Hurts.
And I love what Jalen said. I talked to Jahan Dotson about that. And, that was one of the reasons why I asked Jalen yesterday about Jahan and being more comfortable in the offense. And, Jalen said he's been doing a really good job. He's a guy, he didn't say that to us yesterday, but I know Jahan has told me this. Like, he's becoming a guy Jalen trusts. And I think you saw that when he got over. I mean, credit to Jahan because when Jalen threw it, I'm like, is that yeah, it was. So, yeah.
Well, it's good to get Jahan involved, and Jahan proved he could play a little bit in the Giants game, where he's the number one option for Tanner McKee. So he does have some talent. You know that. We won't troll you too hard on the
You
Penn
can troll
State.
me on Drew Hour. I'll be the first to tell you he sucked on Thursday night.
Yeah. Well, very good college defense, Notre Dame, but
5-star quarterback. Doesn't matter.
That is that isn't a 5-star quarterback.
I know, but that's what the recruiting services that pay money say he is.
Yes. But from the standpoint of this passing offense, I mean, I'm at the point where, all right, it shouldn't be this way, but it is this way, and they might win the Super Bowl despite it. So it's not changing now with potentially 3 games left to play. It's not changing. So you have to ride what you have as far as you can ride it. Is it fair to say that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, you can game manage your way to a Super Bowl. It's happened.
Yeah, it has happened.
Yeah. So, and look, it's not like Jalen Hurts is a bad quarterback here. We're not saying Jalen Hurts is the 20th, 25th best quarterback in football here. He can still be a top 10 quarterback, throw the ball only. How many times did he end up throwing it yesterday, John? 16?
21.
21, I think.
21 it ended up. But, I mean, there was a stretch where I think he went 0 for 7 between the second and third
well,
quarter.
he started 6 for 6, and then he missed his next 7. So early you said, hey, man, he looks good. And then it was just ugly from there.
Yeah.
And I think so. He started 6 for 6. That means he finished 7 for 15.
Yeah. So, and he was great on that one touchdown drive. I think he was 3 for 3 for 61 yards. A lot of it had to do with getting the ball to Devontae and got. By the way, John, do you think AJ Brown's fine? His knee injury?
I was great, Jeff. I meant to ask John about that because one catch for 10 yards yesterday. Was he a decoy out there? I don't. John, you talked about being concerned about the knee.
Yeah, he's definitely dealing with something. He's not 100%, but he should get the ball more.
John, I was actually laughing when Brown. I forget who asked him about. Does he read the book because he's frustrated? He goes, "Why does everybody always think I'm frustrated?" I'm I almost wanted to say, "Well, you do kind of look pissed off a lot." So,
AJ's such a weird cat because he's such a nice dude, but everybody thinks he's always pissed off about something. I get his frustration.
Well, he does. I mean, guys, he does have a little
pissed
bit
off when I asked him about Deshaun yesterday. Him talking to Deshaun, I'm like, fine, I'll go to Deshaun and ask it. Deshaun told me the whole conversation. I'll keep that in house.
Deshaun would be pissed off, but I mean, when you get caught reading a book on the sidelines, now he ended up showing James Palmer the book, and he's got it highlighted and underlined. So it's not like
it looks like he's been slamming on the bench a couple times. Too.
Yeah.
So
and all the players, Jordan Mailata said he reads it every game and was adamant about it. I don't know, from the standpoint of, I think AJ needs to be more aware of how that looks to certain people, but he's such a unique guy. He doesn't give a shit. I guess.
I thought nothing of it. when he was reading it, and when people were
Well,
talking
we know him, so it's not that
Yeah.
big of a deal.
But I thought it was funny. Like, what is it with getting shots at him on the bench? Last week they're getting him sleeping or whatever he was doing on the
Oh yeah,
bench
that was
last week.
funny.
Yeah,
It's like, let's just find a camera. There's somebody on the Fox or CBS broadcast. Just follow AJ Brown. You'll get something.
yeah, which I think is what they do, and especially because the assumption is because receivers generally are not happy when they don't get the football. So the assumption is going in, you're looking. I think most of these people are looking for confirmation bias, like they already come in with the thought process, "Oh, he's got to be pissed off." And they assume he's pissed off.
Well, they think everybody's Terrell Owens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the nature of receivers.
But don't you think AJ is probably wants the ball a little bit more? I mean, he's a top. I think he's a top.
Always
I think he's
one.
literally a top
I would
two
put the
receiver
ball.
in the NFL, and I'd be perfectly good to take him at number one. I know not everybody would say that. I would be based on the way he plays the game.
I mean,
And he doesn't really get the ball, guys.
My mentality, if I'm AJ Brown, I am a second team All-Pro. I'm an All-Pro every single year. Give me the ball, and that's okay.
All receivers want the ball, every single one of them. And if they don't want the ball, you don't want that receiver.
Jahan Dotson wants the ball.
Yeah, I mean that's built into it. Of course, he wants the ball, but he doesn't create waves when he doesn't get the ball. I think that's the disconnect.
Well, John, there was a big thing that happened this year. Remember, they came out in the Steelers game and just started throwing to him left and right after the drama ensued that week of him, creating that, and Brandon Graham throwing some gas.
That was Brandon. I would say that was Brandon.
Yeah, but John, it was created by AJ in the locker room.
But Zander, don't you remember that Monday when we were talking about this? We were basically writing it off as a nothing burger until Brandon Graham said something.
Brandon Graham, there's no doubt Brandon Graham blew it up.
First of all, AJ admitted what he was doing. He was trying to point out, as so was Jordan Mailata, so was Lane Johnson, so was Jalen Hurts, so was Devontae Smith. Now, I remember talking on the postgame show on that specific game. I said, when AJ said passing, I said, oh boy, here we go. Because I knew what was coming. But everybody else, again, those four players specifically said the same thing, but had some context as well adding into it, where AJ's what needs to improve. And he said passing. And, then people.
Maybe at the time you thought it was funny. But
yeah. Well, I think it's funny because I know him and I know what he's doing.
Yeah.
But, everybody else said the same thing. Everybody else said the same thing, including the quarterback.
It's a shame, John. If you don't know AJ Brown, he reminds you of that guy that thinks he's really smart and he isn't, but he actually is really smart. He just doesn't know how to actually say everything.
Well, I think he did it purposefully. And to Zander's point, they were trying to fix the passing game because the belief inside the building was they needed to fix the passing game. And I'm at the point now where I don't know if they know. I don't know if they have to fix the passing game.
It's not
Conventional wisdom says they need to fix the passing game. At some point, you're going to need it to beat Detroit or Kansas City or Baltimore, et cetera, et cetera.
I think the
But
Packers
maybe
need
they
to
don't
fix
need
the
it.
pass. I think the Packers need to fix the passing game.
They do,
Well,
and they're bounced.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I brought this up. All right, I'll bring it up to you. The Packers got worse because people are too close to the Eagles here. So I'll use the Packers. The Packers got worse in the passing game when they started to lean on Josh Jacobs. It's not.
They really leaned on Josh Jacobs over the course of the last 7-8 weeks.
That's what I'm talking about. It's not, Occam's razor. Simplest explanation. The Eagles' passing game got worse because they lean on Saquon Barkley. That's the unintended consequence of it.
I think Saquon's 2,000-yard season. Now he's got the fifth most rushing yards this season all time if you count the playoffs. Masked how bad or how disappointing this offense has been. if that makes sense.
Well, the passing offense, yeah. But part of the reason why it's so disappointing is because they're leaning on the running back because he's having an historic season. Like, would it be better to have Saquon at 1,500 yards and a better passing game? Maybe.
But then, they'll turn around and say, well, 15-3.
Exactly.
And
so
you can't
it's
argue
hard
that.
to argue that when they're winning game after game after
By the
game.
way, Lane had the quote of the day yesterday about if winning big or winning in the playoffs, like how you win the playoffs matter. He goes, unless you want a good Yelp review.
Well, yeah. I mean, in the playoffs, it's advanced by hook or by crook.
Yeah. You don't care how. I mean, look how Washington won yesterday.
Yeah.
And I keep being that cynic. You can't keep winning like this. You're gonna get killed by somebody at some point.
They are going to get killed by Detroit.
Oh, that's what I said. And Commanders fans are all over me for it. And I'm like, shut me up and beat them.
Oh, they're going to be, they're going to get murdered. But
they're not that good of a football team.
No, they're not. I agree with that.
Jaden Daniels is a hell of a player, though.
He is.
Yeah, he is. He's a franchise quarterback.
Boy,
special.
I got a lot of shit. All I said that week, Jeff, was Jaden Daniels is having a better season as a quarterback than Jalen Hurts.
There's nothing wrong with saying that.
No.
I mean, my God, it's not even fucking close. And people got a problem with that.
If you want to see Jaden Daniels as a top 5 quarterback in the NFL this year, I'd listen to you.
And by the way, I didn't even say he was a better quarterback because we went through this with CJ Stroud the year prior. People will adjust. There will be hiccups. But for this season, he's been significantly better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. Anybody who can't admit that is insane. Insane.
Well, people have hometown biases, what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, they're going to get wrecked while I say that by the Detroit Lions.
Who do you guys want? The Rams or the Vikings?
That's what I was going to ask you. So I'll let you go first, and then Zander and I will.
I think the Rams do have the playoff experience. They're my sleeper team in the NFC, but I think I want them over Minnesota.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right line of thinking. The only thing can I have the Rams with Sam Darnold at quarterback? That would be the best case.
Oh, the Rams wouldn't probably be there with Sam Darnold.
I don't know, Jeff. The thing.
I've been on Sam.
Rams. I'd rather play the Rams as a team, but the thing that scares me more about them is Matthew Stafford, who's obviously a veteran quarterback with major playoff pedigree, or Sam Darnold, who seems to turn into a pumpkin every time the lights
we seem to forget something. I know
the Sam Darnold hate. I hope Sam plays well tonight.
Well, John, we only saw one game where he had that was major importance this year, and he turned into a freaking pumpkin.
He won 14 fucking games,
and then he turned into a
and
pumpkin
only one
when it was
game
the winning
matters.
division.
They played the best team in football on the road, and they got beat. And by the way,
was a pumpkin.
Yeah, I think it's unfair. So I'm hoping Sam plays well. But no, the Rams would be the easier matchup simply because you already saw it. And
we also just need to forget Saquon ran for 255.
Yeah. As good as Jared Verse was as a rookie and as good as Braden Fisk was as a rookie, they're undersized. Yeah. This offensive line will beat the living shit out of them again.
This game will be won in the trenches, and the Eagles have such an advantage. It's not even funny.
Minnesota, less sexier, but they got Harrison Phillips, who's this big 320-pound monster in the middle. Jonathan Bullard. They can't rush the passer, but you can't move them.
Brian Flores will find ways to get to the quarterback.
Yeah, they're at least better equipped to somewhat hold up in the running game. I don't even think it's close. And I'm not saying Minnesota's going to beat the Rams because Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua beat them like a drum when they played in the regular season.
That was on a short week, though.
Yeah.
In LA.
But as a matchup, much more difficult matchup for the Eagles than the Rams. However, I think the Eagles will beat both teams.
That's how I feel.
But the Sam Darnold hate is astonishing to me. Astonishing. I mean, the guys won 14 freaking games.
You know what, John? I'll tell you why there is a lot of hate for Sam Darnold, and it's from a national. I think a lot of people, when he was at USC, and he was really good at USC, people just got tired of hearing how he's going to be this next great quarterback, and they love to see guys fail, especially when they're pick time. And he did. He did.
People love the misery.
I don't know. Like, John,
about
I
it.
don't hate Sam Darnold at all. I actually think he's underrated and a really good quarterback. I just don't know if he's ready to handle the moment in the playoffs because I haven't quite seen him be able to do it when the lights were the bright. I'm not saying that to try and hate on Sam Darnold. I'm really not. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he had an amazing year.
Well, I get,
and I think his coach deserves coach of the year because of what he did with them. But I don't think he's equipped yet to handle a moment like this in the playoffs on the road in Philadelphia. I just don't see that.
Well,
I
agree. I don't think anybody's equipped for that moment.
This is how I look at it. And I know I'm going way back here. This is like 25 years now. I still remember when Jim Miller had his breakout season and with the Bears, and he was throwing the ball well and managing the game well. And Jim Miller, can't stop Jim Miller in that Bears defense. And the Eagles beat the shit out of the Jim Miller. Yeah, Jim Miller. Yeah, Jim Miller. I know Sam Darnold's much better than Jim Miller ever was, but it's kind of.
No, I get why people, because people always boil it down to quarterback, and Matthew Stafford's a potential Hall of Fame quarterback.
He's got a case.
So I get from that standpoint, but I just think the Rams are a horrific matchup against the Eagles because of how light and the offensive line is just going to destroy him like they did the first time. And there's only so much Matthew Stafford can do. I get trusting Matthew Stafford more than Sam Darnold. I think you were insane not to. But yeah, I think, what was the Vikings win total coming into this season?
I think it was like 7. They were not supposed to be good.
Yeah. This guy wins 14 games and so many people, shat upon him. That's why and deserve, by the way, if he finished this season the way he played against Detroit, if he has another shitty game, open season.
Well, we'll see tonight.
Yeah. Open season.
But he
has had a very good season.
I agree with your point, though. I don't think it matters. I think Eagles beat both these teams. I think
I agree with that.
The fights at Detroit.
Yeah, I agree with that. They're going to beat either of those teams. And by the way, as you saw in the press box with some fans trolling Robert Saleh at the end of that game.
Yeah, that was
it is not comfortable to play in Philadelphia. I wouldn't pick the Lions if they had to come to Philadelphia. It is an awful place to play for a visitor. And I don't like anybody coming in here and
I mean, John, you were here for the 17 NFC Championship game. Can you imagine if it's Vikings Eagles again?
The only way to play in Philadelphia if you're an opposing team is get on the board early and knock the crowd out of it. Because as much as I love the city of brotherly love and I love being a part of
they will turn quickly.
They will turn quickly. And I'm not saying that I'm not criticizing, but that's the truth. So
that's a fair criticism. That is a fair criticism.
Stops, then that's Zander, the way you win in Philly.
Perfect example. As someone who covers the Phillies and has season tickets for the Sixers.
Exactly.
Philly fans can make up all the bullshit excuses they want. That crowd got quiet. I don't care how many Knicks fans were in the building. That crowd was as loud as ever for Game 6 of the Knicks until things went south. Loud as ever. It didn't matter how many Knicks fans were in that building. Philly fans make their presence heard and felt.
I like Chippy Jeff Kerr. Yeah, I like it.
All right, Jeff, we got a super. I want to read Jeff the super chat that we got for him. All right, we got a super.
I'm not going to disagree with it. So
that was no, you might. All right. Well, you won't disagree with it, but you'll have a hard answer, I think. Brian Fleming, can we ask Jeff Kerr who's worse, Jalen Hurts or Drew Aller?
Drew Aller. Jalen Hurts is a all-pro quarterback. Drew Aller will be lucky if he.
Drew Aller's 5-star, baby. 5-star.
Yeah, he's 5-star, all right.
6'5" with a big arm, baby. That's like a pot of gold.
You know what? I'm getting tired of hearing about the potential of these guys. Like, I'm really tired of hearing about the potential of Drew Love. I shit on Drew Love all year. Man, did I get a just dessert on that on Sunday. What an overrated quarterback.
I guarantee you Drew Aller is a first-round pick.
I agree, John.
Well, he will because teams are desperate.
Yeah.
but he's not leaving. So,
and I guarantee you, whoever takes him is tremendously disappointed.
Oh yeah,
in the long term.
By the way, Nick Singleton, Katron Allen, Tyler
They played
Warren,
well. They played
that
great.
offensive line.
Singleton's a beast, man.
Yeah,
They played great.
carried Drew Hauer all season long in those big games. Penn State lost those big games. They can say the receivers, and I agree, but Drew Hauer came up short and just looked like a deer in the headlights in a lot of big games.
And I'm with you with James Franklin. I used to defend James Franklin, but the difference between James Franklin and Marcus Freeman in the class department is off the charts.
I said to multiple people involved in that program, why did he say that? Why does he do this to himself? I don't understand.
I'm not a Penn State guy. It's embarrassing to watch.
I was very turned off by James Franklin. And you know, Jeff, I would always defend him to the Penn State
fan base
sickos that would always want him fired after. I would always defend him because I think he's a good recruiter, and that's the most important part of being a college coach is recruiting. And I thought he did a good job, but he's just an asshole. There's no other way I can look at it.
I'm surprised he's as good of a recruiter as he is, because to me, he comes off as a total phony. I can see it through the tip.
Now, he's a really good recruiter.
I know he is, but I'm surprised. It surprises me.
What bothers me about him is you do not say to the opposing team coach's face when you know bulletin board material is going around, they should be in the conference. You do not say that. He is going to relay that to his players, and he did, and he gives it. I don't know. James Franklin is the greatest used car salesman I've ever seen.
And by the way, I like Marcus. I've become a Marcus Freeman fan. I
liked him when he played at Ohio State. He was a great player in college.
And I don't know if anyone has seen Marcus Freeman, but I think he could tear James Franklin apart in 10 seconds.
You ever see him play at Ohio State, John?
Yeah, I did. He still looks like he could play at Ohio State.
Oh yeah, he's a beast. It's funny. I can't stand Notre Dame, but man, is that team likable.
Yeah, well, the head coach is likable.
The head coach is real likable.
They got some likable dudes on there too. I remember a lot of it.
Yeah, I love watching the running back play.
Jeremiah Love.
Jeremiah Love.
Good player.
He's got a better hurdle than Saquon. He hurdles people every freaking week. And he's got a bad knee now because he's hurdling people. So he should probably stop doing that. But I like watching him play.
He's a talent, though. He was part of that gifted class that Quinshon Junkins are in, and Travion Henderson and Nicholas Singleton and all these guys. Like, he's part of that.
Yeah, Jeff, let me get back to the game real quick. I want to ask you, coming into this postseason, I think it was fair to do. Me, John, I think you included, probably most people here listening to the show, viewed the Eagles in a light with maybe 4 or 5 teams that they were a legitimate Super Bowl contender. 14 teams make the playoffs, but you don't believe 14 teams have a chance to win the Super Bowl. I think it was 4 or 5 teams. Eagles were one of them. They certainly were for me. Did yesterday's game change anything for you in terms of how you view them amongst those top teams?
No, they're still amongst the elite. I mean, look, their defense shut down a top 10 offense in the Packers, and
top 5.
Yeah, top 5. And I mean, look, the Packers were, if you look at any statistics offensively and defensively, Packers were top 10 pretty much across the board. And
they might have been the most well-balanced team statistically.
That's why they were dangerous. That's why they were dangerous. And the Eagles just out-physical them. They bully balled their way to victory, and they can do that. That's why I'm so intrigued by them in Detroit, because Detroit is like that. And I want to see how kind of when they both clash. But
speaking of bulletin board, because you were talking about some of the bulletin board material James Franklin gave to Notre Dame. I didn't like that all pro stuff on Friday.
With Lane putting up.
Yeah, Panay Sewell. I'm like, why are you doing that?
He gave a good answer when we talked to him about it.
Yeah, I know he did yesterday, but he's very competitive.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Lane put it up. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. He never admitted that. We tried to get it out of him, and he never said yes or no.
Yeah, I would tone that stuff down. I would. That's what I would recommend.
Yeah, and you know what? I really did like his answer though about look, he's a competitor. He said Panay Sewell's going to be a Hall of Famer, and he's not even 25 yet.
Well, he is. I mean, anybody that's not a slight. I get competitors using anything for motivation. It's part what makes them great. But being all second team All Pro to Panay Sewell is not a slight at all.
Not at all. I mean, look how AJ Brown views being a second team All Pro to the guys he's a second team All Pro.
Yeah. And one of them's Amon St. Brown. It should be. Yeah. It's interesting. I voted for. Now I can say it. I voted for Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, St. Brown, and the first team All Pros were Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, St. Brown, Amon St. Brown.
Yeah, Amon St. Brown he's incredible.
Yeah.
So
and AJ probably would have been if they threw the football more.
Yeah.
But they didn't. So it is what it is.
He had 1,000 yards and he missed 3 games.
Yeah.
Great. How many targets? How many targets did AJ get compared to a guy like Amon St. Brown or a guy like Jamar Chase?
I wonder if he even got half the targets Amon St. Brown got.
I wonder if he got half the targets Jamar Chase got too. I mean, he didn't get the ball.
I think anybody watches this show knows how much I like AJ Brown. As both a person as a player, I constantly say he's the best pure football player on the Philadelphia Eagles. He was not a first team All Pro this year.
No, he was not. Yeah, I think that's fair.
I thought the only year AJ had a shot at first team All Pro was his first year in 22, and he was a second team.
No, it's not a slight. Is all I'm trying to say. And he was a second team All Pro, and that's where he deserved to be. There's nothing wrong with that.
The 2 guys that I thought were going to get first team All Pro did get first team All Pro.
That's true. And I told Zach Bond when somebody said the NFLPA team, I told him that day, I said, yeah, you got a good chance. Don't worry about it. It's not the real All Pro team. And I'm glad he is on the All Pro team. Guy who got biggest snub on the All Pro team for the Eagles, in my estimation, Cooper DeJean.
Yep,
should have been first team slot corner.
And you know what? He got a lot of votes for that.
He got a lot of votes, rookie. They gave it to Derwin James, and I forget Marlon Humphrey.
Yeah.
I forgot who was.
Yeah,
first
Marlon
team.
Humphrey was a slot.
I thought Derwin James was more of a safety player. Did he play a lot of slot this year?
I argued he did play a lot of slot this year, but there was a conflation of he plays in the box as well, so he's more of a positionalist player.
Jesse Minter moves him around a lot.
Yeah, because he's one of those players. He's versatile and good.
Yeah.
I give him credit. I'm not saying he's not a great player.
He plays, and I voted for him as a first team safety, and I was told I had to move him to the slot. I'm like, well, he's not a first team slot. So unfortunately, I had to take Derwin James off my team because I'm like, he's a safety. I'm sorry. I'm not going to put him at slot.
Yeah. That's really fudging it.
Yeah. So I would have voted for him at safety, but I wasn't allowed to. And Cooper DeJean got lost in that mix. He should have been first team slot corner. He should have been.
It's so hard to make the All Pro team as a rookie too, because people just don't know who these guys are.
Yeah.
We're going to be honest.
And that's part of it as well. But getting to see him every day, and Humphrey, Humphrey did play more in the slot this year than he did outside because they moved him. He had a great year. I voted for him second team. But yeah, that's more up. They didn't want to vote for a rookie, but a lot of guys voted for him.
I'll say this too. Getting first team All Pro meant a lot for Saquon, probably just as much as running for 2,000 yards.
Yeah, I mean, he deserved it. I voted for Saquon first team. It's hard not to. He deserved it. Zach deserved it. Jordan Mailata deserved it as well.
Yes,
but he was second team.
How about everybody on the Eagles' offensive line getting votes?
Unbelievable.
That's
it's
insane.
the MVP. It's the MVP of this team. With all due respect to Zach Bond and Saquon Barkley and Vic Fangio and Howie Roseman, the MVP of this team is the offensive line.
John, this is a fun conversation. Somehow that offensive line got better, and they lost Jason Kelsey.
I know.
It's incredible, man. It's incredible. And that's where I give Howie Roseman. Look, John, I know you say the offensive line's the MVP. You're not wrong about that for on field, but other franchises, you don't lose guys like Jason Kelsey and have a replacement plan like this. You don't lose guys like Fletcher Cox.
He was their best defensive tackle last year. Fletcher Cox was, not Jalen Carter.
I mean, and you lost 2 potential Eagle Hall of Famers for sure, and maybe a potential Pro Football Hall of Famer in Jason Kelsey. And you just said it, Jeff.
Oh, it's not potential.
Better.
Yeah, it's not potential. He is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the best example of Howie's greatness as a GM, go back to the draft. The Eagles were picking 22nd. They wanted their first once, so to speak, was one of those offensive tackle guards that they could start out at guard and potentially move out if Lane ever retires. And once it was Fautano, who was the last one they liked, went off the board at 20.
Yeah.
Then they shipped it to Quinyon Mitchell, which has worked out beautifully for the Eagles. But that's not the point. The point is, the moment they didn't get Fautano was the contingency, and Becton was here a couple days later.
Yeah. It's funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah. Always got the contingency. That's where he sets himself apart from other GMs. Always has the contingency.
I was talking to players about who they felt was the most improved player in the Eagles this year. A lot of them said Mekhi.
Mekhi, I think, got robbed in the Pro Bowl voting. Wasn't even an alternate. By the way, if you watch Saquon's run at the end where he slid, it could have been a 68-yard touchdown.
76.
Could have been a 76-yard touchdown. Watch Mekhi Becton's block.
Watch Mekhi Becton. Yeah.
And Mailata too had a seal, and they've done this numerous times. It's a kick-out block. Becton, Mailata and Goddard seal inside. Becton kicks out. Massive hole. Mekhi Becton's been great. Unbelievable.
And you know what, John? I know we talk all the time. Eagles got to sign Zach Ball, Eagles got to sign Milton Williams. No, they need to sign Mekhi Becton. That's the guy.
Yeah, they need to sign Zach Ball.
Well, yeah, they do. I'm talking about his. I don't think Milton's coming
Jeff,
back.
the only pushback I'll give you on that is that I trust Stoutland, to be able to turn something into a competent replacement more than I feel that we can replace.
Yeah, that's fair. Because remember, they still have Tyler Steen as well.
Yeah,
in the background. And if somebody wants to pay Mekhi Becton tackle money and move him back to tackle, there might be not much you can do.
Yeah,
but we got plenty of time to talk about the offseason.
But Mekhi has also said how much he loves being.
He's told he does, and I think that's a factor. I do. I think it's a factor, especially for a guy like that who kind of seemed like he really hated his time in New York. Yeah. He's kind of talked about how it almost made him.
There are a few players that come from other organizations, and you can guess the organizations' names.
Right.
But in Philadelphia, there are adults in the room.
Yeah.
Yep, no doubt about it. Jeff, we're way over time, man. We appreciate you doing it today. Any final thoughts on the game? The Birds are moving on, Jeff. I think that's the biggest takeaway. But any final thoughts from you, man?
I expected them to win. I mean, we'll see what happens. I got to watch a little bit of last night's game while I was writing post-game stuff for CBS and doing all that. But tonight's game, I'm going to have a little more attention to. John, do you like the Sunday time?
Yeah, love it.
Best time of the week, I think.
I do too. I love these 3-4 o'clock games. I have time to get in and run in the morning. Yeah. I have time to kind of do what I need to do before I go to the game. I'm channeling my inner excellence.
I would always prefer 1, but I'll take 3. It's better than the alternative. There's no 1 o'clock.
Also, guys, you will not see me buy that book.
Oh, the book? Yeah.
Everybody's buying that book. I am not buying that book.
I'm not buying that.
I don't understand it. Why buy the book?
Yeah. I saw what AJ highlighted. I can just read that.
Yeah. You know what? I was inspired that AJ's reading on the sideline. I kind of wish it was like a Tale of Two Cities or something like that.
I love AJ. I can't. I just love him.
I
think he's part troll, part.
He is. It is funny.
Yeah, he is. You know what he is? He is what Joel Embiid wants to be.
Yeah, he's much more likable.
Don't bring up Joel Embiid right now, please.
I got one for you, Zander, before I get out of here. The Sixers came again to the second round of their arena development.
Yeah, how about this? Yeah. But by the way, Josh Harris is out there celebrating this playoff victory with Magic Johnson, and rightfully so. I mean, the Commanders haven't won a playoff game since when, Jeff?
I know you
2005.
guys don't
Yeah,
care
oh,
about the
all
whole
right, guys.
well,
Trivia
maybe you do.
question. Trivia question. Who is the quarterback of the last team the Commanders beat in the playoffs?
Well, they beat Tampa, so
Yep.
2005.
Yep.
It all runs together.
Who you got, Jeff?
Chris
Yeah,
Sims.
Chris Sims.
Chris Sims.
How did Chris Sims make the playoffs?
Oh, we got
Wow.
one in the chat. Got to give him credit. Got to tip the cap to Real Zeal who picked up.
Hey, there you go. I like it. Good,
Well
good
done.
job.
How
You know
did
your
Chris
history.
Sims make the playoffs? Was somebody hurt?
I think Brad Johnson got hurt and he took
Oh,
over.
all right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then
All right.
Brad went to Minnesota, I think, in 06. I think that was
All right.
I think that was his last
Oh,
year.
yeah, that was Brad Childress. Yeah. I got a good Brad Johnson story with Brad Childress. Should I tell it real quick?
Yeah, why not?
Go for it.
Brad, at that point, Brad was very smart, very cerebral quarterback, and he had binders of plays he liked to run and plays he had success over the years for. Obviously Super Bowl winning quarterback. People forget 98, the best team I ever covered. He was the starting quarterback, got hurt, and then Randall Cunningham came in. He was an overachiever, but he's very smart. That was the strength of his game. So Brad Childress was coming over to take the Vikings. And he was very excited because he was going to get one last chance. He was back with the Vikings, as you mentioned, and he was going to get one last chance to be a starter. And he was so excited. He went into the office. He had all those binders. He said, "This is what I can do well." He's trying to, have a back and forth. And Brad Childress sat him down and said, "Hey, Brad, when you're a head coach, you can run what you want to run. I'm the head coach. We're going to run what I want to run." From that moment, I said, Brad Childress is going to be a bad head coach. And he was.
And it's so weird because he came from that school of Andy Reid that adjusts the players.
And he was a bad head coach. He had one good year with Brett Favre, and that's when Brett said, "Yeah, sit over there. I'm going to handle it." Basically is what happened.
Yeah, he kept the job for 6 years because he listened to Favre.
Yeah. So,
Jeff,
anyway.
Thanks for doing it, brother. Thanks for going overtime with us. We appreciate your contributions. As always, love talking to you, my man, and we'll talk to you again. Hopefully after another playoff win next week. We'll see what happens, brother.
I feel pretty confident that we'll be talking about playoff win next week. I could be wrong, but I feel pretty
All right, everybody get ready for Romulus, Michigan.
John, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I'm already ready.
John, are we carpooling? Are we flying? What are we doing?
Right, definitely flying. You can't drive to Detroit. Well, you can, but
you can.
How far is that? That's got to be 15
hours? 10 hours,
10, 12?
maybe?
Romulus, Michigan. That is where the Detroit airport is. What a town.
Here we go. Let's see what happens. All right, Jeff. Thank you, brother.
See you guys.
All right,
see you, Jeff.
For joining here on Birds 365. We're way overtime. A little playoff overtime for everybody here on Birds 365.
Yeah, we're way. Wow.
John,
way.
I know we went over. Well, you get Jeff is not a 920 guest, John, because we like to talk to Jeff. Jeff runs it down with us. A couple super chats, John, before I let you run, brother. All right. Seth Shifley says the Lions will get a nice warm-up game against the dual threat QB and Daniels before possibly facing Philly. Interested to see how Glenn handles the +1. That's an interesting take.
That's a good point. It's going to be advantageous for Detroit to get to see that, and they're going to have to deal with it. Yeah, but Detroit, I mean, their strength is not deep, but they're better than people think defensively. I think people obviously losing Hutchinson is a very big deal, and it has been, but they played for him now with a long time. They got Anzalone back. Brian Branch, as I always point out, very good player. Kirby Joseph, first team All-Pro. They got playmakers, and they generally play a different way. It's like, they get a stop. It's like arena football. I've used that analogy.
Mm-hmm.
There's score, get a stop, score again, and bang, you're up against it.
You think our defense can slow that offense down, though? Because that's what, every time I brought that up last night, everybody was saying, well, we have the number one defense. Why do you assume they're going to score 30 a game or 30 against us? I'm like, I don't know, man. I watch Detroit a lot. They impress the shit out of me. All right. I'm sorry, but that's just what I think. But I think it is fair to push back and say the Eagles have a number one.
Well, I
defense.
think it's
Maybe
fair
they
to
can
say
slow
that
them
the
down.
Eagles have a better chance than anybody else, but I believe, and Detroit's had bad games. Everybody has bad games. They had the 4 interception game against Houston, and I think they still scored 30. So, I think good offense beats good defense in the modern NFL. I think that's where the game changed. If you're playing well offensively, there's only so much you can do to stop
Right.
it.
And part of that's the legislation, right, Joe?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
nearly all of it's the
Right.
legislation. It's just very difficult for defenses. Now, there aren't a lot of offenses that can hum at the level of the lines, but when you get one, it's just tough to stop.
It is, and the one thing that I don't love now about going up against that Lions team is I think the loss in Kobe Dean hurts against the run, and if they can establish the run with
I
Jahmyr
think it's
Gibbs,
bigger in the passing game because Gibbs is just
they're gonna
uncoverable.
murder Burks in the passing game with Gibbs. I mean, Gibbs runs routes like a receiver. He's so elusive and good at that as a receiver. I mean, I think he would give Dean a hard time. But
Well, I was at that game on Sunday. Blake Cashman's one of the best coverage linebackers in the NFL. One of the best, I would say, easily top 10. Before the Vikings lost that game, they had not lost with Blake Cashman on the field. They were like 13-0. He missed 2-3 games earlier in the season. They were 13-0 before they lost that game with Blake Cashman. That's how important he is, that defense. Gibbs, out of his socks, had no idea what to do with him.
we'll see what happens here. A couple more supers, John. We got to let you run here. Dirty Air, Giants looking their chops, looking at your Rattler. That's pretty funny. James Jones said, this is our resident Commander fan here, John. Shoot, keep sleeping. He got you, LOL, and the rest. That's my son. I think he's talking about Jay Daniels. He thinks they have a chance to upset the Lions.
You can't say that about me. I've been talking up.
Well,
James,
no, earlier in the
Katie
show,
Daniels.
you said you thought they were going to get beat bad.
Oh, they're going to get beat the brakes off in Detroit. But I think Jaden Daniels has had a phenomenal season. I got killed on this show for saying he had a better season than Jalen Hurts, which isn't even fucking close, to be honest. But
did I kill you for that, or was that just the people?
No, it's just the people. I think you might have pushed back, but not
a little bit. Yeah,
a bunch of people killed.
In hindsight, I mean, shit.
Yeah,
let's be real here. Caleb Brandon checks in. Okay, finish up your thought.
Yeah, but with they had a very good season. They won their first playoff game since 2006, as we said. But I mean, yeah, that's not a good matchup for them.
I agree. Caleb Brandon says wide receivers wasn't open yesterday. You'd rather Hurts force the ball and all the go routes. Just not sure what wide receivers people are seeing Hurts missing. The entire passing game can improve. I will say there must be a clip going around on Twitter. I'm on the show, so I can't watch it yet.
I saw the clip and the screenshot.
Orlovsky, yeah. Somebody keeps tagging me in a clip of Orlovsky.
I saw the screenshots, and Kellen Moore's getting, Nick took over the offense because the concepts are not there. It's the NFL. There are plays where receivers aren't going to be open. That's when the quarterback's got to adjust. And again, I said that earlier in the show, you throw the football away, you live to play another down, whatever you extend the play, you do it that way. A lot of things. Not every play. There were open receivers. He hit open receivers. DeMonte Smith, Dallas Goedert. There were open receivers. This nonsense of taking one play out of a game and saying nobody's open happens in every NFL game to every NFL team, including the Detroit Lions. There are plays when nobody's open for Jared Goff. It's the NFL. Can't take one play out of context.
Yeah, I agree. Worst behavior says sprinkle in a little bit of Taysom Hill type approach with Pickett and Hurts, or is that a stop it from J-Mac? Need a spark to the passing game.
What is
they want to see Jalen Hurts use this.
Jalen Hurts would be Taysom Hill, and Kenny Pickett's going to be.
Yes.
Come on, guys. Yeah, that's a stop it.
Some people are done looking at this passing game, John. I don't know
By the way, not that it's a big thing, but I told you Kenny Pickett was going to be the friggin' backup.
Yeah, you did. Brian Pumper says, please, Lord, save me from Jalen Hurts' QB play. Please, I beg of you.
Brian, checking in.
Go to church, Pump. Maybe send a prayer up at church. He might help you there.
Yeah, he didn't have a great game.
And West Philly Lowe's. This guy, I was chirping this guy last night, John, because he says, oh, if we win, because I was criticizing Jalen Hurts. He's like, if we win, you're not allowed at the parade. I'm like, oh, okay, asshole. Now tell me how to live my life because you don't agree with me about football. I mean, come on. Watch Orlovsky's take on Jalen this game, West Philly says. I saw it. I'll watch it. I'm on the air. I can't watch it right now.
I love the people because I did, I'm sure Dan's going to shit on Jalen.
No, he didn't. He shit on Kellen.
He shit on Kellen?
Whatever. I think that's what it seems to me.
Shit on somebody. That's his gig now.
Yeah.
That's his stick. And everybody, well, you didn't talk about Jordan Love. Well, yeah, everybody knows Jordan Love played like shit. Or Justin Herbert. I get a lot of, oh, you said Justin Herbert. That's another thing. Yeah, he is good. He had a bad game. Guess what? Joe Montana had bad games. Tom Brady had bad games. This nonsense of taking one game and conflating that into he's good or he's bad. Every single quarterback in the NFL is going to have bad games. Going to have good. The truly great ones starting. I always say, Peyton Manning is the most consistent quarterback I've ever seen from week to week. And even he had plenty of bad games. The goal is to have as many good games as possible, and that's what sets you apart.
No doubt. Johnny Mac, great show, man. We went way over time, but I feel like it's warranted today after you win your first
Well, it's Victory
game.
Monday. Playoff Victory Monday.
Yeah, playoff Victory Monday. John, just your final thoughts, man. We wrapped it up. We talked about everything in the game. Your final thoughts after the Birds are moving on, and I think that is fair. That is the biggest takeaway of the game. But
only 3 hurdles left. That's my takeaway.
John, what you said on the postgame show has been ringing in my head since you said it. You're right. I mean, I can keep complaining about Jalen, but they just keep knocking down pins, man. They keep knocking them down.
And with all due respect to the LA Rams and the Minnesota Vikings, I don't think that's a difficult hurdle. You got 2 hurdles from my perspective. Now you got to go out there. The Eagles are not going to approach it like that. They have to take it very seriously. But you're talking, there's some crazy shit would have to happen for them to lose to the Rams. And some crazy shit would have to happen for them to lose to the Vikings. And then you start talking about Detroit and whether it's going to be Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo, whomever you like. And those are difficult hurdles. Those are legitimate hurdles. But they're got, maybe you can win this way. If you would have, I've been saying all year, I don't think you can win this way. Now I'm wavering. Maybe
Trent
they
Dilfer,
can win
that's what
this
we got,
way.
right now, it's a Trent Dilfer-esque situation.
He's better than Trent Dilfer.
Yeah, but he's not playing better than Trent Dilfer.
Well,
he's a better player than Trent Dilfer. Yes, agreed 100%. He's not playing like that, or forget that. He's not being asked to do much.
He's not being asked to do much, but he played. Trent was horrible that year. He's played better than Trent Dilfer. But you're right. He's not being asked.
Yeah, I just mean the sentiment of not having an elite quarterback and going and winning a Super Bowl. Because everybody always talks about, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. So, all right, John, good stuff, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm going to give away this great Quinyon.
All right, Quinyon, the big pick. Good job by Quinyon finally getting over that hump. And good luck, everybody, to win the Quinyon jersey.
All right, Johnny Mac. Good stuff, brother. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning on Birds 365.
All right, Chris Franklin. He'll be here tomorrow.
Great stuff. All right, there's Johnny Mac here on Birds 365. Great takeaways from him. Great show today on Birds 365. I thought we had a lot of good conversation, a lot of good opinions on the game. And look, I think it's fair. I think it's fair to say we can win this way and we're moving on in the playoffs. I'm perfectly cool with that line of thinking. For those who watched the post-game show last night, I brought on a lot of people in JAKIB Nation. We had my guy Ryan on the bench come on. He ripped into me. We won a playoff game. Who cares what it looked like? Who cares about Jalen Hurts? Who cares about this? That's fine. That's fine. Just accept that we as a fan base have moved the goalpost on what we expect from our quarterback. If that's what you want to say, I'm cool with that because I'm starting to think the same thing. We don't even need Jalen to be great. We don't even need Jalen to be great, okay? But accept that we've moved the goalpost. That's perfectly okay to move the goalpost, but do yourself a favor and thank Howie Roseman, okay? Thank Howie Roseman for building a roster like this because most teams would not be able to survive in the modern game with quarterback play like you're seeing in Philly. And I'm not trying to be too hard on Jalen. I know you guys are all mad at me because I've been hard on Jalen the last day, but he's not playing special right now. Nothing about Jalen Hurts' game right now is elevating this offense. Again, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it doesn't freaking matter. It might. It might not freaking matter. And I think that's more important. That's more important than my opinion, that's for sure. Look at Jeff Fox. Then why have you been bashing Hurts? Jeff, because I think he stunk. What do you mean, Jeff? That's why I'm bashing Hurts. Because I think he stunk, brother. I mean, that's why you're asking me why. There's your answer to your question. I think he stunk. Am I a man and willing to be wrong? Sure. I'm up here talking football for 4 or 5 hours a day with you guys. If you think I'm going to be right about everything, you're insane. There's no chance I'm right about everything. Not a shot in hell. And I'm perfectly fine to sit up here and eat crow if I need to. But my expectation for the quarterback was higher than what we're getting. I think it's okay to say that. Maybe we can win without him looking better. Maybe. Yeah, Terry, I don't know either. He didn't play good. I don't know what's hard to tell. Caleb says, my critique isn't because of Dan. Dan didn't have to say what I seen and said yesterday. Just making sure y'all don't think I'm listening to Dan. Now, Caleb, I know what you. I know your thought process on the team, brother. We've talked about it enough. I mean, I think you're on. I think you're right, Caleb. The only thing I wouldn't really be a pushback on you, Caleb, but I'd ask for a concession from you is that Jalen is not necessarily helping this offense in ways outside of what he does in the +1 in the run game. And even that could be up for debate when Saquon dropped 160 yards with Tanner McKee at the helm or whoever it was that played. It might have been Kenny Pickett. Emre, stat lover Z. No, I'm fine. But remember, if we win a Super Bowl this way, people will be talking about the same way that we talk about Dilfer. I'm not saying Jalen is Dilfer, but we certainly don't have like an elite. Like in 22, it would have been an unbelievable story to write that story. For Jalen to do what he did in that game and to knock off the Kansas City Chiefs and to do it as a second-round pick and a guy who was doubted and all these great things. Now he's the caboose. Jalen Sills is right. Hurts is the caboose. Kenny Sprague, love the update to the room, brother. New camera. Not yet new camera. The camera looks better, but that's just because I worked on my studio. Thanks for noticing, Kenny. Yeah, this was my Saturday project. So I painted up the walls. That table's temporary. I'm gonna change that out. Got the books back there, my goalie helmet, my beautiful cigar humidor, my old Zander Krause show. That's from 2019, guys. I started that podcast in 2019 when I was, 21 or 22 years old. And that was, in a way, that was my manifestation of where we are today. Look at us. We're talking content every day. We're doing shows. I got a great community of people. So that's a good reminder for me, to keep grinding, right? To keep grinding. And if you're in your own life, keep grinding, brother. For all the people out there who are grinding. All right, keep grinding. Kenny, thanks for noticing, man. I love this setup, though. I do think it looks a lot better. That makes it look a lot better. Brandon Howard says, I got more super chats I got to get to. And then we're going to do our giveaway, all right? If you're not a member, become a member today, all right? You got to become a member in order to win, all right? And I will give away the Quinyon Mitchell. So, Real Zeal, I saw you crying. Oh, he cost us a jersey. He didn't cost you a jersey. Because if Saquon got 125, I'd give away a Saquon jersey, and I wouldn't give away a Quinyon jersey, all right? But now I'm giving away a Quinyon jersey. So it didn't cost you shit, all right? It didn't cost you shit. Brandon Howard, we have to win with Hurts. 4 more years, no trade clause. Team crippling cap hit to move on. He is our guy. We must win with him. You're correct, Brandon. It's a good take. You're correct. We got to win with him. Chances Axeman Jr. overtakes Burks. I'd say no. I'd say no. Nugget, you're talking about, look, I like the potential of Trotter, and I'm not huge on Oren Burks, but remember, you're in a playoff atmosphere here. You got 3 games left, and Oren Burks did step into a Super Bowl last year for the San Francisco 49ers. This guy, he's not Nakobe Dean. He's not particularly the best linebacker, but you're not going to go to a rookie in this spot, brother. You're not going to do it. You're not going to go to a rookie in this spot, man. You're not. Caleb Brandon, I got that one. Parker Alexander says they do not do any stunts, and why? And I think I meant slants. Yeah, I don't know why. You got AJ Brown, the king of slants. I mean, fucking wrong with slant. What? Boom. Makes me dumbfounded. I don't understand. Brian Pumper, Jalen Hurts spends more time picking his outfits than watching film. He's dedicated to looking cool while being mid. Tanner would never. He does have some cool outfits. I'll give him that. He does have some cool outfits. All right, let's do this giveaway. All right, let's do this giveaway. What up, No Limit? There he is. No Limit. You talked a big game last night that you were going to come on and give me the business, and you didn't give me shit, man. Come on. I was disappointed in you. A-Team says, I think AJ's more hurt than we realized. I got to watch the tape, A-Team. I'm going to watch the 22 and see how he was running routes and stuff. Saquon Zander's cousin. That's why he slid. No, I did not yet, Jania. Jania, just to give you context. And you're from X, so thanks for watching over on X. All right. I did a post-game show last night from 7:45 or whenever the game ended all the way to midnight. All right. We got off the air after 4 hours. And then I tried to get I was all wired up after the show. So you don't fall asleep till 1:30. And then I got up at 6:30 and I got the show this morning. So I really haven't had a chance. I haven't had a chance yet to tune in, but I'm going to definitely go check it out. I'm going to go check it out. All right. Brandon Howard again. Thank you for the supers, brother. Thanks everybody for the supers. I also think Jalen needs to run free. Let him do what he does best, run. If he gets hurt, we got viable backups. Don't play it safe to protect him. That's a good take, Brandon. I actually said on the pregame show, Brandon, I think Jalen's going to have more rushing yards today, but he ended up not. It's all right. I was wrong, but I thought they were going to use him more. Show Enough becomes a member. Show Enough. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Is that a new member or did you upgrade or what? Let me look over here because it doesn't show me on StreamYard. Yeah, welcome to the JAKIB fan. Thank you, brother, for becoming a member. Show Enough. I appreciate you. Marchetti says we definitely have a championship defense. No doubt about that, my guy. Absolutely no doubt about that. Yeah, Jania follows up, says it looked like the Packers defense knew our playbook. Yeah, I'm seeing, like, Jania, people are tagging me in tweets, but I haven't seen it all yet. Once I get off the air, I'm going to be able to go and watch some film, man. Like I said, I've been on the air basically since the game ended. So I haven't really had a chance to dive deep other than I love kicking it out with you guys. Like I said last night, I love hearing your guys' opinions and stuff. So I've been hearing from all the people, like I said, I don't have a problem if you disagree with me. I'm not one of the people who can't handle a disagreement, but come with the facts, come with the proof, All right, let's do this jersey giveaway. You guys keep dropping supers on me, which I love and I appreciate. Thank you, guys. James Jones. Now, can a 2023 4-win team take out Detroit and go to the Super Bowl? Quinn in year one took 32 ranked defense to the 9, 30, and 25 ranked offense in the top 5. Yo, James Jones, I'm going to be as real as it can be right now with you. All right. James, your team you should be pumped, man. You should be really, really happy with your squad. I'm not going to lie. It's hard to say because you guys are in the NFC East, but, man, y'all got one in Jaden Daniels. Dan Quinn's done a hell of a job. Now you knocked off a playoff opponent in the Bucs. You guys are legit, man. There's James, you're not going to hear any more chirping from me in terms of that front, man. It's impressive what you guys have done. Your quarterback is really freaking impressive, Jaden Daniels. I mean, I'm becoming more and more of a fan of him. It's hard to be a fan of him because he's in the NFC East, but he's a fucking damn good player, man. He is a damn good player, all right? He's a damn good player. So big shout out to you, brother, and congrats on your team. Really, really turning the corner. James, you guys won. I think it was 3 wins last year, not 4 wins, wasn't it? You guys got the 3 pick in the draft or the 2 pick in the draft on merit, not on a trade. So impressive what they have done, man. Impressive what they've done with him. Caleb Brandon. I concede we aren't winning because Hurts his arm. And yes, the +1's the most value he seems to bring. Critical down playmaking. When he take care of the ball, we win. Caleb, I'm really not even seeing the third down playmaking anymore, though. That's one of my fears right now with Jalen. I think they've almost limited him a little bit in the run. I think we were, two for 11 on third downs yesterday? This is my problem, all right? And I understand people who say that Big Z is being a hater. You guys have to understand. I don't think – some people think about the game differently, and that's fine. I'm not one of the people who tends to think pie in the sky. I just don't. It's never been my thought process. I'm not mad at you if you think like that. I've never thought like that. I've always – immediately when I'm watching that game, I don't think, hey, we're going to win a playoff game. I'm excited. I think this doesn't look like a team that can get to the Super Bowl. That's how I think. My default think is that. It's not, yay, playoff win. So I'm cool with that, but look at some of the stats of the game. Jalen doing what he did, which is not very much. Not getting the ball to your receivers at all. 2 for 11 or whatever it was on third down. Like, if you get up against a better team or a team that can move the ball or a team that just has our defense's number that day, I don't know, man. That's going to be a tough swing. That's going to be a tough swing for me. But I hear you. All right, I get it. Yeah, Show, I know you're a longtime subscriber, man. You've been here for years. You've been here for years, show enough. I love you, brother. Thank you for your support. All right, let's get to this jersey giveaway. And Zeal, I have not been silioized. What is up with you guys? Anybody who has one take that doesn't praise the Eagles and you're silio? I mean, come on, man. It sounds stupid. It sounds fucking stupid. I love this team. I've been rooting for this team since I was a child. I mean, I live right outside the city. I was just down near the stadiums meeting up with my guy, flexing and stepping. Like, come on. I'm not silio-eyed, Zeal. Shut your ass up. Jalen Hurts didn't play good and he didn't impress me. Come on. Come on. Why is that so hard to say? I think I got all the super chats. Thank you guys for all the super chats today, by the way. That is some love. Still over 700 watching with 230 likes. Hit that like button, everybody. I appreciate you guys. Let me load up this member list, all right? Did we get any new members? I know we got Show Enough. I know we got I know you are, Zeal. I'm busting your balls, too. I'm busting your balls. Thank you, man. Thank you for the support. All right, let me pull this up, guys. Give me a second here. Give me a second here. I got to pull the member list. I'll get it. Here we go. I'm excited to give out a Quinyon Mitchell. I got to be honest, man. I'm excited for a Quinyon Mitchell giveaway. Quinyon earned it. Big game for him. Showing up in a big spot. Love that for a rookie, man. Love that for the rookie. All right, we got my member list. Show Enough is on there. Here we go. Yeah, we're up to 470 members. Now, remember, James Carver gifted like 100 plus of them. So a lot of them are going to fall off. James Carver hurt your guys' chances for all the giveaways. We had 10 giveaway winners last week. All right, 10. 10, and I'm slacking. I got to be honest with you guys. I didn't get to the post office because I did this. I didn't get to UPS. All right, so I got to ship everything out today. I'm going to be a busy man. Here we go. All right, Quinyon Mitchell. Got to be present. Let's do it. I got my thing up. Oh my God, I got so many tabs. My brain is going nuts. I literally got 642 tabs open. That's Zander in a nutshell right there. I'll check it out, 30D. Thank you, man. Here we go. All right, here's our names. We're going to have one winner today, and you must be present to win. All right, hit that like button. And for those who do not know, we do giveaways on JAKIB Sports. As long as I have members and we get super chats, I'm going to keep doing giveaways. The goal for the offseason is to give away at least one thing a week, maybe more than that, depending on how many people stick around all through the offseason. So they're not ending today. If you don't win today, stay with me, all right? My goal is to always try and take care of everybody that supports the channel, all right? I can't obviously give everything to everybody right now, but if you stick with me, you know, I think I'll get you something, all right? Twiz won last week. Flexing and stepping. My guy Jason A-Teams won a couple of things from Jacob. Abe's one of things. So hang in there. Bombay Trippy. All right. He got his jacket. Yo, great picture of you in the jacket, man. Looked dope. Looked dope. Shout out to you. Matt Miller. There should be a I'll share out the join link. All right. Give you guys a couple of minutes to join if you want to join. Terry Hayes, right? One of our legend members. Also got a win on a Saquon jersey. Bob Brown says JAKIB Sports' Zander Krause show needs an all-22 film session for the midday. Make it a regular segment for next season. Bob, I got a lot of ideas, man. Bob, I got a lot of ideas. Bob, this brain is firing all the time, all right? It really is. It's firing all the time. Big C, I'll search you. I put the link in, so if you're not a member and you want to become a member, here's the link, all right? You click it. It's $5 a month for the base member package. So join in now if you want to join, and if you don't, that's fine too. You let me know, and I'll just run the giveaway here. E. Caleb says, I think everyone's drunk on expectations. We had a 4-turnover game against the Commies and didn't win. Yeah, I mean, Caleb, I think Caleb, if you want me to be introspective right now, I think that's me. I'm drunk on my expectation that I thought Jalen Hurts would deliver more to this team. I am. I thought Jalen Hurts would be more than this. But we're winning without him having to do anything. Like I said, it's fine. I don't care. I care more about the Eagles than I do about Jalen Hurts. I mean, I want the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. So if they can do it without him playing good, that's great. I just don't know if they can. I don't know. They keep winning, so they keep shutting me up. You know, maybe they can. Yeah, Bombay, that doesn't surprise me. Did that officially come out now? Yeah. No, not next year. You think next year too? No, it's January. If he gets an Achilles, well, Achilles could be. I guess he could be in the next year. I mean, you're in January now. Kind of like Sidney Brown. Izzy B, you're riding it out. Izzy B, you're riding it out. There's nothing you can do. You're riding this out. I mean, unless Jalen got so disgruntled with the team that he would accept a trade, maybe. I don't see it. Torn patella, is that what it is? Oh, no. Let me look this up. So that's different. All right. Can someone who knows more than me about doctor stuff help me out with this? That's worse than an ACL. I know that's in your knee, right? Your patellar tendon, does that connect the top of your leg with your shin? Who knows something about something? Yeah, that's a serious injury. Izzy says Google says 6 months. Well, let's hope Google's right. Yeah, it connects to the bone. All right, we'll see. We will see. James Jones, if your name is drawn today, I'm going to honor it, man. I'm going to get you a Jaden Daniels jersey. I am. I'm going to if our resident Commander fan wins today, I'm going to gift him a Jaden Daniels jersey, and we're going to give away the Quinyon jersey to somebody else. You've earned it, James. Your team has earned it. Your team is impressive. They are. They're just impressive. They've done a really good job. They deserve a tipping of the cap. Sean Davis. Thanks, Sean. I'm so tired of fighting with these idiots about Jalen. We have a $200 million offense for what? He's had less than 200-yard games than more than 250. Sean, I'm with you. But Sean, at the end of the day, we're Eagles fans. So, like, if they can win, does it matter? I don't know. Are we, Sean? Serious, an introspective, serious thought as an Eagles fan. Are we too caught up on wanting it to look pretty? Seriously. Like, I'm being self-critical here because I admit I want it to look better. I want Jalen Hurts to add more. But am I being too style pointy? Like, dude, we're 15-3 this year. We played not a great game, and we beat a team by double digits in the playoffs. You know? I don't know. I'm trying to be as real as I can. I always try and be real with you guys. You guys know that. Rich Nutt, Hurts had 2022, and that was a mirage. This is who he is. Yeah, he looked amazing in 22. I haven't seen that in a while, but. Chan, I do not say anything. Come on, Chan. I try and be honest, man. If you don't like my opinions, that's fine. But to say I say anything is stupid. Come on. A-team. Anthony Lear, that's not a good excuse. It's not. He's coming off. I don't want to hear that bullshit. Detroit's down 12 starters, dude. Just think about that. Detroit's dropping like flies. They don't give a shit. 15-2. They don't even blink. Here's Joe Whipp. He's a little bit smarter than I am. He says ACL is far worse than a ruptured patella tendon. I'll read a little bit more about it when I get off the air. A-team checked in. People forget Jalen was in a contract year basically in 22. He could have played well just to get a bag, then fell off. He changed after the money, and it's obvious some athletes just lose the fire after making the bag. Did he lose the fire? I don't really think he lost the fire. I don't know what it is. At the end of the day, who cares? I mean, if we win the Super Bowl, who the hell cares? Who the hell cares? All right, let's do this giveaway. We got no new members, so we're good. We're going to fire this. Here's our list. All right. 469 members. Pause, no Diddy. Search Big C. He wanted me to search. There you are, Big C. Keith Johnson's in here. Terry Hayes is in here. Mac Main's in here. It was driving me nuts last night. Show enough. Mike M. Here we go. KCA Eagle. Sean Davis, imagine what Detroit and Minnesota are going to throw at Hurts. Minnesota doesn't scare me at all. Nothing about Minnesota scares me. Nothing, Sean. Nothing. Not even Brian Flores. Last time Hurts went up against Brian Flores, I think he was like 17-23 for a couple touchdowns and 240 yards. Like, nothing about Minnesota scares me. Detroit, different beast. Different beast. I agree. All right, here we go. Nah, Menifee, not really. Menifee, not really. Menifee, if you watch that defense, here's the one thing about that defense that's an interesting matchup with the Eagles as not being a passing team. Their cornerbacks suck. They stink. So you have to capitalize on their secondary. I guess that's an interesting matchup, but who cares? I think we can go. I think we match up with them well. More importantly, I think Darnold's a pumpkin. Green Bay got 10 points yesterday. Will Darnold even be able to get 10? I'm not sure. Not a Sam Darnold believer in the playoffs. And shout out to Joe Whipp, who was on that first. Zander, as a lawyer, I had to defend a couple of cases with that injury. He should be okay by September. There you go. That's good insight right there. Joe, what kind of attorney were you? I guess were you a personal injury attorney, Joe? And are you? I guess you're retired now, Joe. You're not still practicing, are you? Yeah, but Brian, who has the better team around him? Who is the better? Brian, was Hurts a pumpkin yesterday? Brian Pumper, was Jalen Hurts a pumpkin yesterday in the playoff game versus the Packers? Yes or no? Flex says yes. I think he was a pumpkin and you won the game by double digits. That's my point. You don't like if Sam Darnold's a pumpkin, they lost 31-9 to the Lions. If Jalen Hurts is a pumpkin, you have Saquon Barkley, the best O-line in football and the best defense in football. This is a different ball game, which is why I'm going to say, and I'm going to continue to say, the offensive line's not the MVP. Saquon Barkley's not the MVP. Vic Fangio's not the MVP. Howie freaking Roseman is the MVP for assembling this roster because it's insane. It's insane. All right, let's do this giveaway. I keep getting distracted. Get good comments coming in. All right, ready? Quinyon Mitchell, you must be present, and we're going to have one winner today. And I'll be doing more giveaways the rest of the week, all right? All through the playoffs, I'm going to try and do giveaways. I got to admit, I'm low on stuff, all right? I spent a big bag of money to get a bunch of stuff. We've given away just about everything. So I'm going to try and re-up, all right? I'm going to try and re-up a little bit when I get a couple extra peanuts here. 2 shuffles. There's the third shuffle. All right. Cue ball, Matt Dio. All right. Quinyon Mitchell. This is a very nice jersey, guys. It's in the bag. I'm not going to take it out. You can see it's like the game jersey, man. Stitched up. 100% stitched. Kelly green. You can see the stitching if you can. This is a really nice jersey. All right. This is an excellent jersey. Yes, A-Team. It's a nice jersey, isn't it? Jason A-Team, who's also a legend, by the way. You know, when he won a second prize, I upgraded him to a Saquon jersey, and then I kind of flaked on him, and I asked him to take Quinyon because I needed another Saquon jersey to give away to somebody else, and I didn't have any left. So he worked with me. Jason, thanks for doing that. It's a large, Dirty Air. It's a large. Here we go. Look at this guy. He must not know what Zander time is. Pick Zander. I'm 40 minutes into my 15-minute break. Dullahan, I'll search. What the frick happened? Am I muted still? Sorry, guys. I muted myself. Let me double check what's going on here. Check. Audio check. You got me now? All right, good now. Sorry. Dre Tucker, are you here? Izzy, I was telling you, if you win, I'll get you something that works, all right? I know you said large is too big for you. I will get you something that works, all right, if you win. And a large doesn't work, I will always – the point of the giveaways, guys, is I want it to work for you. You know, like I spend money on this stuff, and I'm not mad about spending the money, but I don't want to send something that collects dust, okay? I don't want to collect something that collects dust. So if it doesn't work for you, please just tell me. You know, Texas T, who won our double hat giveaway last week, she reached out and said, you know, I got big bushy hair. I can't wear a hat. Can you just send me another beanie? And I'm like, sure. All right. I'll send you another beanie. I make accommodations. That's the whole point. Dre Tucker, you're done. Here we go. Get him out of here. Sorry, I was muted, guys. I was talking to people in the chat too. Izzy, I was hollering at you. I was hollering at Flex. All right, confirm. 3 shuffles again. 1 shuffle. 2 shuffles. 3 shuffles. And before I fire, I will make the chat members only. Members, fire. Boom. I was chirping you because you said a large wouldn't fit. What do you mean, why you? Don't play victim on me now, Izzy. Let's go. I'm biased to the name Izzy because my sister's name is Isabel, and I love the name Isabel. Always have. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. James M. Oh, I got so many Jameses on our freaking channel. I swear to God. James M., are you here? Oh, no. Did Dre check in? Next. Look at this guy. He's trying. Wait, look, this is hilarious. All right. This is absolutely hilarious. Eagle fan. I'm doing giveaways. Now this guy wants me to collect his dirty laundry. Brother, I'll get you a giveaway that fits you from my collection. I'm not going to collect your dirty laundry and replace it for you. What a fleece. What a fleece that would be. Are you kidding me? I found cheap and it collects dust. I'd love to sell it and get something that fits. I'm good. Thank you, brother. All right, here we go. James M is not here, right? James M stands for James Missing. All right, here we go. New winner. New winner. Confirm. 3 shuffles. 2. I legitimately have to go today, so I can't go all day. I have work to do with the postgame and everything. Come on. Flex, thank you, brother. Get him out of here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Anthony Wilson. Anthony. Come on, Anthony. You got to be here. Come on, Anthony. I love Anthony Wilson. He's always chirping at Cilio. Dude's got the most eagle-colored glasses I've ever seen. Come on, Anthony. This is a winner I'd be happy with. Come on, Anthony. One of my cousins, Anthony. Damn, he's not here. Can't honor it. He's not here. No limit. I can't do it. Can't do it, man. Damn. I wanted Anthony to win. He sends us a lot of super chats, and he's a big supporter. Damn. Hate to see it. Yeah, hate to see it. Next. Here we go. Start. Confirm. 3 shuffles. 1 shuffle. 2 shuffle. 3 shuffles. Start. No, he's a morning guy too, Casey. Yeah, you're wrong. 4, 3, 2, 1. Eagles talk, baby. Eagles talk, baby. I think this guy was shitting on me in the postgame show last night. Now he's going to win a freaking jersey from me. This guy was shitting on me in the postgame show. Now he's going to win a jersey. You watch. He'll change his tune. Eagles talk. Where you at? Where you at, Eagles talk, baby? Ain't seen him. All right. Is he done? Done and dusted. Eagles all talk. He's all talk. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Eagles next, baby. That's a good one. No, I've seen him. He's got the all caps name. And he cries a lot. He cries a lot in the chat when he doesn't like the opinions of the host. You know, football takes always crack me up. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The whole football talk world cracks me up. I find it funny how people get genuinely offended that people don't have the same exact opinions about football as them. Look at Izzy. Yo, Izzy, I'm going to teach you a lesson right now, all right? Izzy's a member here for what, a week now? Izzy, are you new to the channel? When did you find this channel? A week ago? A week and a half ago? I've never seen you in the chat before a week and a half ago. This girl's crying wolf on the picker after a week and a half. I mean, yo, Izzy, get a cup of water, sit down and enjoy the show, all right? Come on with this bullshit. Fucking Izzy's been a member for 36 hours and she wants 3 giveaways. Izzy, take a seat. Take a seat. All right, let's do this. Confirm. 1 shuffle. 2 shuffles. 3 shuffles. Well, I appreciate that if you've been here all season. But I've only started seeing it until a week ago. Although maybe it was the new picture. The new picture is more easy to identify. Start. Come on. Come on. 3, 2, 1. Sean Goodwin. Where are you at, Sean? Can we get a winner, please? Yes, you're correct. A member is a member. A member is a member. She earned her cousin status. Correct. Correct. You guys are all my cousins. Is Sean Goodwin here? Sean Goodlose. Sean Goodlose. Suplex Krause. My guy, Suplex Krause. He ain't here. Is he done? Is he done? Is he done? Izzy says, Zander, they say I'm a catfish. Izzy, I would put the chance of you being a catfish at potentially 95 to 97%. That's what I would say. 95 to 97%. But I appreciate your support of the channel. I don't really care who you are. Start. 3 shuffles. Confirm. 1 shuffle. 2 shuffles. 3 shuffles. Sean, come on. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 4 reels fishing. Come on, 4 reels. Come on, 4 reels. Is one of you guys going to be here? Four reels. Where are you at? Yes, there he is. Cha-ching. Cha-ching. Let's go, 4 reels. Let's go. Let's go. All right, 4 reels. What size is 4 reels? Does a large work for 4 reels? Or do I got to go into my bag of tricks and see if I can make something happen? Come on, 4 reels. Where are you at? Flexen's going to watch his girlfriend, Kay Adams. 4 reels. Krause. Yeah, 4 reels. Welcome to the family. XL to 2X. All right. So is an XL or large isn't going to work for you? I gave away the Cooper de Jean. I think I have an AJ Brown 2X. I think I have an AJ Brown. Let me look. Let me look. Let me look what I got. In the Big Z. In the Big Z Santa sack. We're getting low, people. We're getting low, people. Flex, don't fall for it, Flex. Let me see if I got a double X jersey. Holy shit, I'm down to what? 3 jerseys left. I don't really have a... Shit, man. I still got a large salute to service, but that's a large. Look at flexing. Yo, Flex. It was great meeting you, my guy. I freaking loved meeting you, Flex. Wait, I want to figure out what to do for 4 reels. 4 reels, how can I connect with you? Are you on X or something? Because I'll DM you and I'll deal with this because I got to run. I got a lot of work to do. Where's my guy Flex? Yeah, Flex, we're going to do it. Flex, we're going to meet up again at that same spot, maybe grab a brewski at the Chickies. All right? I'm not a big drinker, Flex, but I'd get a beer with my guy Flexing. IG? All right, do you follow me? Go DM me over there. Zander Krause Show is my IG. Please go and follow me over there. KCA, I gotta keep it because I want one winner today because I'm trying to give away as much stuff. I want to give away stuff all through the playoffs, and I'm running out of shit. I gave away 10 things last week. 10 things. I went giveaway happy last week. Where is For Reals? Or email. All right, you can email me if you want, or just follow me on Instagram. You're not very quick in these comments, For Reals, but congrats on your win. There you go. There's my my handle or my email. Come down to Wayne. Joe, one of my great friends in high school used to live in Wayne. I used to go to Wayne all the time. Wayne's a nice area, man. That's where you live, Joe, I guess? That's a great area. Really nice area over there. Super nice. The whole main line is really nice. I don't know if Wayne is considered the main line. I guess it is, right? It's main line. All right, I'm just trying to For Reals. Can you DM me or Instagram or email me so I can get off here? I got work to do. Good night. Yeah, Joe, Wayne is beautiful. Where's For Reals? Guy's not commenting. Yo, Flexin, you are hilarious, dude. You are hilarious. Flexin is fucking hilarious. You know, Flex, I was on last night on the post-game show. This is late into the night. You were long gone. You were long gone. I was telling the people about where we met. Yeah, Joe, I used to eat the Five Guys in high school like all the time over there. The one in the lot next to I think there's a Chipotle up there a little bit. The Wayne Chipotle in the same center as the Five Guys. That's what I used to eat when I was in high school. We used to drive out there. All right, For Reals. I put my email in there and I told you my Instagram. Please reach out to me. I'm not going to beg you. All right. I'm not going to beg you. Izzy says you all need to get back to work. I'm at work. All right. I'm at work, but I do have other work to do that I have to get to, including going to the post office to shipping this stuff, or else Twiz is going to be crying about his thing not coming in. Right. I like Five Guys. You guys are clowns. Five Guys is a good burger. Although I don't eat really fast food like that no more. Oh, my God. Now I'm sure Izzy's a troll and a catfish. That's a major crazy comment. Yeah, I think that's where it was, Joe. I used to do that. Wayne, thank you, man. Thanks for all you do, Big Z. Wayne, thank you for what you do, man. Thank you for your support. Izzy is Abe, that's the best theory yet. That is the best theory yet. Abe, well done. Izzy is C24. Yeah, I guess that's where I was. All right, I'm leaving. For Reals, DM me. I got a lot of you to DM still. I'll get to it all. All right, I'll get to it all. I'll get to it all, I promise. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today. Thanks for all your support of the channel. Thanks for watching. Shout out to For Reals Fishing on the win. Thank you for being a member. For Reals, you sent me an email. Thank you, brother. I will check that out right now after the show and coordinate with you. So big thanks to everybody tuning in all day again today. Can't do it without you guys. Love you all. Hope you like my new set. I love it. I think it looks awesome on the show, much better than it was completely. And I appreciate all of you guys. Keith, thank you, Keith. Dank Bird Gang, thanks for your support. Bob Brown, thanks for your support. Sean Davis, thanks for your support. Izzy, thanks for your support. James Jones, thank you. Dirty Air, thank you, brother. Dirty Air, hopefully you're coming in, man. I'd love to meet you. You said you might come in, so that'd be great. Just let me know. Let me know. W Show. Flex, thanks, brother. Flex, we're getting that brewski down at Chickies soon, all right, man? At Chickies and Pete's. Devin, thank you, my guy. KCA, later, brother. Appreciate you. Terry Hayes, love you, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you for the support. Philly Don, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Big C, thank you, man. All right, that's going to do it. See you next time, everybody. On Birds 365, we'll be live 2 to 6 today with the National Football Show. See what Big Sills has to say about the quarterback. I don't think it's going to be good, but we will see. Have a good day, everybody.
You've been listening to Birds 365, the destination for the passionate Eagles football fan who bleeds green. If it's Eagles football, we're talking about it. Debate inside the locker room and guests that are some of the greatest football minds from around the region. We hope you enjoyed the show. We know we had a blast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on social media at JAKIB Sports. See you next time on Birds 365.